posted on my Instagram.
Well, you already know what time it is. Your boy Magnus Dawes. Don't need to break no balls. All I do is give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way for us players to play. Now, y'all see what Kanye done did? What a strategic move, man. But yo, we got Maya speaking on it right now on Clubhouse, you know what I'm saying? So I want y'all listening. And yeah, tell me where it come from. You know what I'm saying?
Watching the internet, watching YouTube, watching people with direction in which it's being composed and how being not celebrated, also being, you know, that. I'm not saying that, no, not saying that it's being celebrated by you. See, that's what I'm saying. It ain't in Chicago that's celebrated by. I know people of Chicago, New York, that feel like that. They think that's gangs, oh, you see what they laying shit down. I'm talking about the influence that would be pushed from Chicago is being celebrated outside, and it's being incentivized. And I said that because if you look at the artists being signed, and there's a lot of artists, right? The artists that they're signing that come from Chicago are people who they know have known beefs, who have literally made songs about the beefs, you know, whether it ended up in some level of violence or nothing. Like, these are the people that the industry is going to promote. They're not promoting the positive rappers, the dope ones that, you know, have. I'm saying that to say that I understand that reality, you know, and I'm saying this to say that I understand that if Larry Hoover was home with the mindset that I believe that he wants to come home with, how that could shift. How you could have an influence in so many different places, not just in Chicago, but elsewhere, to where people would say, you know what, we understand what this man is doing, we understand what he sacrificed for this, and him saying this is gonna make us move at a different rate. Even in the industry, even with industry, the way that they promote shit that goes on in Chicago. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Chicago is promoting it and celebrating. I don't think, but you look outside Chicago, these young kids want to emulate whatever violence that they've seen promoted that goes on in Chicago. They want to emulate that.
You're absolutely right. I'm with you. I'm with you. I just offered that because you know, like I said, I'm here. I'm in those streets, and yeah. But I heard you when you were saying, and I'm totally. It's definitely influence, man. All sorts of conversations all across the globe. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually from 63rd, so I see. You know what I'm saying? The significance and influence that Chicago has. It has a whole world saying that they don't want to be from 63rd. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You're absolutely right.
You know, also, I think somebody brought an important point when they brought up the election. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes.
So somebody brought up the election, and I never thought of that. Right now it's 2020.
Now you got low, and you just got real low on.
Yeah, you gotta speak up a little bit, bro. You real low.
Can you hear me now?
Still low.
Bring up the volume. Bring up the volume of the phone.
Can you hear me now?
You're a little bad.
No.
If you hit the dots on the right in the room, you can turn the audio quality up. So say audio quality, turn it up to high.
Yeah. All right.
You better actually.
Yeah, that's a
No. Brought up the election, and 2021 right now, about 2022. If you guys look at and I think the person, I think it was my son that said, you know, two key was to try to come from a different set of circumstances, and I agree with that. And the reason why is because on both sides, there's such prison amongst black people and black
You
people.
said took
The
me
person
back.
that has a direct relationship with Donald Trump, he runs the Republican Party at this point. And on the other side, you have people in Jane who have really strong ties to the Democratic Party. So there is potential to make something happen. And we all know politicians don't care about anything but love. And so if you have the person that basically runs the news culture, he runs it through Travis and everybody else that he works with. If he creates a T-shirt and all of the brand and the T-shirts Larry Hoover, which is I think the T-shirts he had for Donda. And all of these 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids are wearing it, 16-year-old kids, and they're mainly Caucasians and whatnot. These politicians are going to look at that and be like, yeah, we probably want to fit the demographic. And so if this actually becomes a movement, is what he's envisioning, where him and Drake are the two biggest icons in music, period. Celebrity, period. If he is reelected, because that guy operates like somebody said, he's not a politician really. He'll free whoever he wants, you know. And I think he will 100% do it if it comes down to that. Because again, politicians care.
I totally agree with that. But what's the process? What's the process? Larry Hoover? What's trying to free Larry Hoover? What's the process for Kanye West and Drake?
I think it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to meeting. Because I don't think there's no way that the community is going to free him.
I think he got multiple life sentences. I think he got multiple life sentences, federal life sentences. So I think it would have to be like situation or something like that. I'm not as familiar with. I want to be. I know he's life sentence going right now. So definitely like President pardon something like that. And you know things like that. You know. So hopefully we'll see how it goes.
Hello. Hi.
What's up, Ray? You wanted to speak?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm Rachel.
Go ahead.
I'm from Chicago as well. And Kanye's been working on this thing for a very long time. So do not gimmick. Trying to so he free this young man. He's not young anymore. I myself, my dad locked down for 39 years for something that he didn't do. Just about in 2020 of last year due to the exoneration project and the Illinois Innocence Project. So it can be done. I know that they have looked at it, you know, harsher sentence because I personally believe Larry Hoover should be out, regardless of what he did, or you know. I'm sorry. Hello. I don't think it's a gimmick that many perhaps traps and. At a time. I'm in my 40s, and I went my entire life basically without my dad. And one of the gentlemen on here said something about healthcare. They have health issues. My dad used to call it death care because it isn't the greatest form of healthcare that you can get in an institution. So yes, I do personally believe that Larry Hoover should be set free, and all of the men and women that have given harsher sentences, or for being convicted of a crime that they didn't do, they should let them all out.
What up, Uncle Frank?
That's the real pandemic in our community, and
you already know.
That's all I gotta say.
Well, y'all think about this Kanye West teaming up with Drake?
Peace to the family.
Free Hoover. That's what it is, though.
I agree with you, Ray, on some things for sure.
Making
Now,
Drake
as far as Kanye,
do some shit, you
and
know,
as far as
talking all that gangster shit.
what they say, method to my madness. I definitely believe that Kanye has a method to his madness, but I don't like the brother said earlier. I don't believe Kanye is crazy.
Right, sure,
Like
love.
Son said, every time something is coming up, he got an album about to drop, or an event, or he want to do something big, then he'll say a crazy comment, or like this situation, he'll go on a drink champs. I can't call it a gimmick because Ray she put it down when she said that he was been doing that in Chicago. So okay, cool. So but what do we do to move forward? Because he threw a couple shots at Drake in that same interview, so sometimes it throw me off like that.
Exactly. That was one of my issues. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was one of the things that for me it's like you throw shots at him 1 minute and the next minute you just I don't know. But
Exactly. Nah, exactly. You saying the same. You thinking the same thing I'm thinking. You understand? So you throwing shots, but then you want him to help you. That's kind of counterproductive. And he was dropping some jewels in there. That's why he kept saying, if y'all want to think I'm not trying to get killed this interview, he was saying some things about Hebrews and blood of Christ and all. He was saying some things, but it was just kind of we getting back to the topic on the room. It was just kind of confusing how he was, throwing shots, but then saying, "Oh, but we in the same area." Oh, but then I had to bite his ear. But yeah, I wanted to help me with the Larry Hoover thing. So I'm just like, damn, brother, just let's try to focus, man. Let's try to focus. That's all. I'm landing my bike right there.
I just want to ask a quick question. So Larry Hoover's in Florence, Colorado, and ADX. So what's the possibility of him leaving that prison?
At 70 years old.
I think it's a great possibility. I think they're going to let him out. I personally think that he's going to be let out soon. The thing is that someone also said that it's going to be with some stipulations. He might not be able to come back to Chicago.
But his voice, it'll be worldwide, though. You understand? The biggest problem that we have now is with our quote unquote black leaders is a lot of them get bumped off if we were not, like I said, I don't want to go back too far in history, like Mike said, but no, that was another one. I was with DWI. But as far as like the history, they have a tendency to knock a lot of our black leaders off. You understand? To Malcolm, to Martin, to Khalid Abdul Muhammad. You understand? So that's the only scary part. To Huey P. I don't believe Huey P died like he died. Like they say he died. You understand? To Fred Hampton, to the list goes on and on, right? So my whole thing is, if Larry did come out, I'm pretty sure that if he'd come out trying to unify the community, it'd be harder on him, and it'd be harder on us as communities as well. I don't think they will give him that platform to try to unify because they don't want to see us unified. That's why the people coming out of Chicago, they got beef already. Talking about bodies already. They smoking ops already because the record labels are independent. However they're looking at it, as, he's not going to be here long. You understand? The same when I first seen King Von. My brother, he ran to me to show me this dude. And I'm like, I said a remark, and the remark turned out to be true. But when it turned out to be true, I was so mad that I said it. I'm like, damn, I started having some love for the brother, but he was putting out some energy. You understand? So yeah, I'm gonna land it there. It's like this, but I would still want to make sure that we know that if they bring their brother out, they definitely going to sign this. It's going to be some stipulations, as Risha says, but definitely going to be some stipulations.
Absolutely, there's going to be some stipulations, but perhaps because he's 70 years old and 9 times out of 10, he's going to be institutionalized, hands down. My dad did 39 years, and I could tell you some of the strange things that he would do. And perhaps he shouldn't be a voice. His son has already set up an advocacy platform to bring awareness to, this type of thing. And perhaps he shouldn't be the one that is, the voice of whatever, he's been through for all of these years. His time should be getting therapy, getting to know his family members. The camera shouldn't be on him. He has a lot of catching up to do. And at 70 years old, where things tend to slow down for you naturally, it's going to be even harder for him, because not only, the women are different, the fashion is different, the clothes, the food we eat, everything is different. So this man is going to be trying to catch up just on that alone. And perhaps he shouldn't be the one that is the holy Messiah. That's just what these people in the street look at him as. But he may not even be on any of that when he get out.
Ray, this Chicago Down speaking. What's good, everybody? Good morning to everybody. Appreciate y'all. Honestly, to go back to what everybody was saying, yeah, if they free the old man, we call him the old man on my side, we call him the old man. If they free Larry Hoover, honest to God, I don't think people gonna try to silence him, because to be real with y'all, we celebrate that man's birthday every year. To be honest with y'all, we celebrate that man every year. Folks still be posting, this picture. So it's still a respect. I was born in 1990, so I guess y'all could consider me a shorty or an old head or whatever, because I grew up in the 90s, but the thing is niggas still celebrate that man. So if that man do get released, hopefully he do. I don't think it's going to be any type of thing, but what Miss Ray said, yes, he should be spending time with his family, going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't think it should be the spotlight on him. Even if they release Chief Malik, Jeff Ford, for the Black Stones, I don't think it's gonna be no pushback on him, because the people still respect him too. So they still show love to the OGs. The Noonie G, he still show up to 3130s, and he'll definitely, he one of the big folks. So people still respect, the old heads, though they don't disrespect them. So I just think that's what they showing on YouTube, and what they putting out. And honest to God, I just want to say my last thing before I land, Chicago's a beautiful city. I feel like a lot of people, we put this magnifying glass on how violent Chicago is, but honestly, Chicago's a beautiful ass city. And I think no disrespect, but a lot of DJ academics, little juniors, they definitely put a bad mark on us. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't even call it Chirac, we call it Shot Town, home of Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? Real Chicagoans don't even call it no Chirac or the Rack. We call it Shot Town. So I just feel like it's a disservice to really disrespect our city like that, because it's a beautiful ass city. Candace Parker just won a championship for our city. You know what I'm saying? So I'll land my plane, and I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate it, because I feel the same way, man. And, New York went through that for years. For years we had to get the same rep. And like you said, man, a lot of people be mad at me, but DJ Academics, why you going DJ Academics? He just reporting the news. He's just a regular internet dude. And I'm like, nah, you don't understand how deep it is. That man created a whole level of violence that just from not just reporting it, but instigating it. People don't understand. Instigating and reporting is two different things, man. When somebody in the middle of the street saying, this is what happened, blah, 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 that's reporting. But when you're giving your take on who won and who is the toughest person and who got the biggest guns and who need to go do something and who don't, that's a different thing, man. And that creates back and forth, especially when you got a platform and you able to dictate what the culture is, and you dictate to these kids what they doing, and they watching you talk about they quote unquote set or they homies on TV in a negative light, and saying that somebody else done rolled them and did something to them. Now they want to go get some get back, so you can report, the dudes on that side rolled back. So people don't understand that. I don't understand why people don't understand it, because I think we've been conditioned to deal with bullshit so long that we don't even recognize it no more. So I appreciate you saying that, man. I know Chicago is a beautiful town. I've been there numerous times. I got a lot of people I love out there, and the goal for us, man, is to get us back to where we all supposed to be, man, and not being celebrated or looked at for anything negative, man. Start talking about how we changed shit around and we rebuilt our community and we built our society and gave our young boys something else to think about.
Agreed.
Appreciate that, bro.
Chicago Dawn.
Agreed, bro.
When I went to Chicago, I was actually surprised.
Shaq, your mic.
Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq, your mic. Shaq
I can speak. I can speak. This is Big Twin. I can speak.
Hold on one moment. We're gonna go have Shaq finish his thought, and then we'll go to the what's your name, Big Twin?
I'm Big Twin. Big Twin 178.
All right. So
No, I was just saying that it's so crazy how like the media desensitizes your deaths. That's what I was telling somebody from Chicago when I met them. You know, the whole Chirac thing and all of the people that died there. I feel like the media desensitizes people to your deaths. So it's like King Von just died, and you're like, okay, I expect that because he's from Chirac, is wild there, or whoever dies in Chicago is my point. But when you go there, it's actually such a beautiful city, man. They have a lot going on, beautiful culture.
And not to cut you off, bro didn't even die in Chicago. He died in Atlanta. Like,
no, that's my point. It's an example. It's an example.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of bullshit. Because everybody got murdered capital. Like, California was murdered capital. Indiana was murdered capital. Arkansas was murdered capital. I just feel like we just got magnified because Obama was office. Farrakhan too and all that, you know what I'm saying? And also too, like, he was a popping in 2000. So I just like we just got magnified. But Chicago's a beautiful city, man. Like, for real. Like Jordan said, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Big Twin.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on as far as saying it being a gimmick. It's not a gimmick, all right. Kanye doesn't have nothing to gain, right, from creating a gimmick like this. You understand what I'm saying? He already reached his plateau in life. He has nothing to gain. What I'm glad at, right, is that these rappers is finally realizing they can use their status to do good, other than just to promote, the no good. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. So he's actually using his status to promote good. You understand what I'm saying? Him and Drake, they get together and they start that campaign on Larry Hoover. I'm definitely supporting it. And just like how all of us, we make all the negativity viral, we got to make that viral. You understand what I'm saying? Free Larry Hoover. You already know. That's all I want to say. You already.
But let me just give you, I believe what you're saying, bro. But let me tell you something about narcissist behavior, right? And I'm saying it is or isn't. When you're a narcissist, you always just trying to have power and attention, right? So when you plateau, it's a lot of these dudes that do shit for attention because they feel like you have people who have accomplished so many things and they constantly just want the attention to be on them. They constantly just want the attention to be on them. And there are people like that. So when I say it's a gimmick, it might not. I believe this situation from my heart. I believe that this situation is something that is dear to Kanye. I believe that freeing the Larry Hoover is something that he really wants. But at the end of the time, you can't ignore that he constantly does things for attention. We can't, and it's not just about whether he has money or how much success. He told you you think Kanye wants to be Steve Jobs. Like if you listen to his interview, he wants to be Walt Disney. Like to us, the amount of success he has is enough. He wants to be the biggest creator, entrepreneur, anything that ever existed. You understand what I'm saying? So he still has somewhere he's trying to reach. But I actually believe that this is something genuine, man. Like I said, I've been critical of Ye on a lot of different occasions, but this situation, whether he's trying to get attention or not, I don't give a fuck. I think it's a positive thing that we're trying to get somebody out of prison that can be very much useful in society in helping these young boys and girls right now.
Yo, Mice, but check this out, Mice. Now let's look at it like this. Whether it's a gimmick or not, it's still kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still kind of good because whether it's a gimmick or not, it still gets Larry Hoover, you know what I mean? Out of that bind. You know what I'm saying? So even if Kanye is using it to be like, Trump vibes, trying to get like attention and all that, it's still, if it could free Larry Hoover, then I'm kind of for it. Mice, how you feel about that?
That's pretty much what I just said. I said the exact same thing you just said.
Absolutely.
It's the only child syndrome. Maybe he just talked too much.
Yeah, Kanye, he just honest to God, I ain't trying to be biased because I'm from Chicago, but Kanye, he's like that uncle that just says some shit, and it's like sometimes he put his foot in his mouth, but he still say some real shit at the same time, though. So I understand where you coming from, when y'all be like, man, this ain't Kanye, he be tripping, but some of this shit
So I tried to get on stage so I could talk. They let me on stage, but then they threw me back into the audience shortly after. So I don't know what's going on. It's only 3 mods up there. I don't know why they blocking us from speaking. I don't know why.
That's
America is racist.
He even looked like a racist. If I had to pick him out, I'd say he was a racist just by the way he looked.
You can't name a president other than Obama that wasn't racist. There's no president we ever had. America in itself is built on racism, bro. So the thing is, it's not about whether the president is racist or not. It's the one that we can benefit of. That's what it is for me at this point. I don't give a fuck who's racist. Like I ain't going for the race politics. America is racist. There's no 70-year-old, 60-year-old white man that doesn't have racism inside him because he was born into that. Especially not that's going for president. So I don't think there's none of them that.
Hey, I got a question. Bruce, y'all think Kanye was wrong for coming at John Legend?
What he said to that nigga?
He basically, I mean, he was just coming at him because I think he was running for president, and he was like, he didn't support him and shit. And he was on national TV, you know, saying that, you know, just bashing Kanye. Like, what y'all
He's saying
saying?
they're coons. He said John Legend and his coons. They're owned by the Democratic Party. That's what he said. Basically,
y'all think he was wrong for that? Y'all think he was wrong for saying that about John Legend?
No, not at all.
Nah, he
Fuck the
felt like he
Democratic
put him
Party.
on. I mean, he said what he said. He said exactly what he felt. He said, "I put these dudes on. I changed these dudes' life, and in a moment where he felt like he could have found more greatness, like my son said, son dude reaching for the sky. But like you said in another interview, they asked him, "Yo, who do you think you are?" And he was like, "Yo, I already told you what I think I am. A god." You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is the type we dealing with here, you know. So if you go against him when he's trying to become president and he put you on, I mean, if I put my homies on, I wouldn't want them to go against me neither if I was trying to jump into something political. You understand? But you know, that's a business in itself, man. That's a business in itself, man. So it could get a little tricky and fuzzy with that. You understand? It's like, yo, don't talk politics, don't talk marriage, don't talk race at the job, how you do that whole thing. It's like as soon as they went against him, he felt like it was probably like orchestrated or something to go against him, you know. And so that's what I say.
Yeah, he even mentioned Pusha T because he was like Pusha T voted Democratic. You know what I'm saying? He was like Pusha T didn't go against him out in the public. You know what I'm saying? I just think John Legend, he should have just voted who he wants to vote for, but instead of going to public, you know what I'm saying? That's a really messed up relationship. So I don't think Kanye was wrong for that. So I agree.
Yeah, that's really what hurt Kanye, the fact that John Legend went public, like going against Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Pusha probably didn't agree with what Kanye was saying and the shit Kanye was doing, but he didn't make it available to the public. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like John Legend probably should have kept it that way due to the fact him and Kanye already got a relationship. We just people who viewing this shit, we don't know what they went through behind the scenes to make John Legend do that neither. Just like we don't know why Kanye feel that way about John Legend. It might be some personal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Free Larry Hoover, man. Free Larry Hoover.
Yeah, and free all the Black Panthers that's still locked up to this day. That have no business being in there, you know. Free all
Exactly. That's my point.
You understand? Nobody ever talking.
Exactly, man.
You know, I really think Kanye's at a point, guys, where it's not even about gimmicks anymore. I think he's just like, what can I really accomplish now for like going forward with my life? So I think for him, he's just checking things off a checklist. Like he created, to be like, we can't deny it, the most biggest brand in terms of fashion for hypebeast. You know, for young kids. Young kids, they ain't buying Louis Vuitton, like they're buying Yeezy in terms of shoes and whatnot. And it's true, the facts are out there. So he did that on his own. He came out, I don't know if anybody remembers this in an interview, he said, nobody would ever ask Drake what kind of person to wear, but you'd ask Virgil that. And nobody would ever ask Virgil to make a song, but you'd ask Drake to do that. and I compete with both of them, and they're both at the highest. Like I compete with both of them, and they're both at the highest level in terms of their fields, and I'm doing it at both simultaneously at the same time. And he did do that, and now I think he's thinking, if I could do reform, let me go ahead and do that, and I'm going to bring the person back who I think everybody wants back. And so I think he's just checking things off his checklist at this point. Because for people to say it's a gimmick, why would he put Larry Hoover's son on his album in terms and did it as a monologue and constantly mentioned Free Larry Hoover at different points in the album, and he continuously played that monologue at his different shows. Shattering not only the Apple Music record, so millions of people heard that message. And in the audience at these stadiums, he did it like 3 or 4 times because I went to his ATL show. So I don't think it's a gimmick at all.
I have to agree with Shaq. At this point, after listening to the Drink Champs interview, at this point for Kanye, it's not about money. He says, I have so much of it, I can't spend it in my lifetime. So at this point, it's not even the value of money to him. I mean, it's just too much. It's again, creating iconic moments and checking things off his checklist. And also his wife is involved in, freeing people and political, having meetings in the White House, meeting with Trump, doing different things. So I think at this point it's more like I don't know if it's a power trip or ego, because even when Kanye was just coming, you remember him from when he was just getting put on. He was always cocky and arrogant and wanting to break barriers with his little tight pink polo, and his sunglasses and his little crazy haircuts. He's always had that attitude. So I think it's just that he keeps the same attitude. But now it's just check off his checklist. I
So the part of Drink Champs $1 million, he's trying to go public and put himself in involve himself in the stock market.
I didn't see that part because I stopped halfway through. But I did notice that he had some ADD during the interview. He was veering off a lot. He couldn't collect his thoughts. He would start in something and kind of like veer off. And I believe that Nori and EFN were just letting him rock. But he did. I do feel like he needed someone to get him back focused and back to the subject at hand. So maybe he did contradict himself, because in the beginning, I didn't see the other part where he said he was trying. It's about money and $1 trillion and stuff. I didn't see that. I just saw in the beginning where he's like, at this point, it's not about money. I have to. Money to me, he was like, I can't even spend this in a lifetime. I saw that part.
But in all transparency, I had shout out to my brother Nori. Somebody that I called my brother for real. Plus, I heard they broke all type of streaming records. So I'm gonna check it out later. But this whole thing was just me based off. I seen a couple of clips. I seen a couple of clips. Heard him talking about Drake. Then I see very next day with Jay Prince talking about Drake. Let's do this. It's like it's kind of for me. It's kind of for me. It's just like I hear you, but you was insulting a man a few minutes ago. It's like but if anybody could get that to happen, it's Jay Prince. So shout out to Jay Prince, man. He's a powerful, very respected. He's also one of my comrades, man. We built a lot, and he shows up in spaces, all type of spaces. He ain't just in the streets. When we was fighting in Parchment Prison in Mississippi, he came over there and advocated for the freeing of the brothers in Parchment Prison. So that brother is very influential, and his word means a lot. So hopefully he can make that happen. And he got Ye to do it, and I know he has a lot of influence with Drake as well. So if it can be done to get those brothers on the same page, then Jay Prince is the person that can get it done.
But Mice, if you trust me, when you're done watching the interview, you'll understand like what happens when this guy goes at Drake. He even said it himself. Like I have no personal problem with that guy, but we're competing. That's what he said. We're two of the top artists. We're competing. This is competition. Me and that guy make too. This is literally what he said, quote for quote. Me and that man make too much money for too many people for anything to happen between the two of us. So let's just stop it right now. And it's the truth. It's the truth. So when he goes at him, it's competition, man. They're just sparring.
Yeah, I just think it's competition. sort of like how 50 and Diddy, he become that Diddy with the Ciroc. I just think it's competitive. I think it's like person. You know?
And it's not just on me as a boxer. It's not just sparring if a dude bites your ear, man. You understand? He specifically brought that up. You know what I mean? Let him know that we playing dirty now. That's why it made me feel some type of way when he jumped on. Like I said, the next day and was like, "Yo, Drake, yo, what's up?" Well, or I don't know when that was recorded to when that was recorded. So maybe that's why. But it's still, it had to be somewhere in the same space where you had these feelings. You understand? And this is the most that I've seen. Like I used to watch Dream Champs a lot. The last one I caught was the Ja Rule one when he beat my man Fat Joe. So after that, but I realized with this interview, like Angie said, they let him go off. Like they normally Nori cut you off as soon as you're trying to get into something deep. You understand? Shout to Nori, no disrespect. But it's like with this, they just was letting Ye go. They just let him go. You understand? And I actually respect Nori for that because it was a beautiful interview and we got to really see the mind of Kanye West. But I wasn't surprised. It's the same dude we've been seeing for the last 20 years. 2 decades we've been seeing this guy. So I wasn't surprised by the stuff he said, except when it was just like throwing the shots and then hiding the hand thing. So that's the only thing. I'm a part of my back leg.
Hey, yo, Bike, can I keep it a buck with you, bro? How would you feel if a nigga that's rapping talking about your wife and insinuating that he's sleeping with your wife and he's really not sleeping with your wife? That's what Drake was doing.
We gonna have. And that's what he said in the interview.
We gonna have issues. Yeah, that's why he bet his head.
He also, but talking about biting, the Mike Tyson thing, he said the problem that he has with Drizzy, and I'm from Toronto, I can't even be biased, we love Drizzy, but he said the problem with him is he'll say little subtle things that only you and your friends know because he's messaged, your friend's wife, and he'll drop a bar and nobody understands the bar except you. So he's like, that's why I had to play dirty, because there is subtle stuff that only I know and my people know. Like people don't really know about that, and that's why that's why he said we had to fight dirty. It's not necessary, but again, it's like just competitive sparring at that point.
Right, but here's the thing: if people didn't know, right? If people didn't know, right, what he was saying, why would you make it public? For everybody to know. So it's like they kind of playing a game.
Nah, big, but I think his whole theory. One mic. I'm saying, I think his whole.
Hold on, Belly. I saw Belly come off his mic. And then who else wanted to speak?
I'll speak after whoever.
All right, so we're gonna go to Belly. We're gonna go to Belly, then Chicago Don, then Big Chuck. Go ahead, Belly.
Pardon me, Good morning. What I'm gonna say is just like a response to what Big just said. The only reason why he would go public with what happened with him and Drake, he was basically stating throughout his whole ideology was like, if you watch the Tyson and Holyfield fight, Holyfield fought dirty the whole fight, but we only seen when Tyson obviously bit his ear. So that was his whole ideology with it. So he was like, you know what? Let me just bite his ear. So that's the only reason he kind of went in and put it all on the table. But I think Kanye has an admiration for Drake, and Drake has an admiration for Kanye, and I think that's just how they fuel each other up. So I don't really take that. I don't take them beefing like that serious, and I also don't think like Ye is a gimmick. I just think he's like a capitalist, everybody else in America. Yeah, when it's time to sell us something, he gonna get all his shit off. You're gonna hide your whole lifestyle till it's time to sell something, because ultimately we all trying to get somewhere in life, right? So I just think he a capitalist. I don't think nothing he do is gimmicky. I think he's actually stating what a lot of people should be stating right now. Even with Biden, I don't see nobody holding him accountable. Nobody's saying anything. I don't see no rooms on Clubhouse about Joe Biden and what he's doing, where he at. We don't even see him. And I'm not a Trump. I'm not this super Trump dude. I'm not, because I have no faith in politics, right? So we don't see no rooms at all. like pertaining to Joe Biden. We're not making him do anything, say anything. It was almost blatant disrespect how they campaigned. And you seen them pop up during verses. Kamala Harris popped up in the middle of the Brandy and Monica verses, I believe. And then like Joe Biden went on the Breakfast Club to really talk about he went on the Breakfast Club and said whatever he said with Charlamagne. So it was kind of like blatant, like selling us out, and nobody called them on that. I think like Kanye, it's not a gimmick, bro. Like he just watching our people being constantly played. And the last thing I'm gonna say is I don't believe they're gonna let Larry Hoover out because Larry Hoover is so big. He got so much intel on how this country is ran. I mean, I think a lot of people have intel, but that man has like, actually spoken with the presidents and shit like that. Like he got so much intel that he could give the younger community that I don't think they're really ready to hand the nation over to us yet. You know what I'm saying? And I yield.
Can I say something real quick? Because like I want to just, in all transparency, like, I'm pretty much done with politics. I don't really fuck with politics after this election. Just understanding what really goes into politics and how all this shit is just a trick bag. But I want to know: do y'all think that Obama sold black people out? So I can just give you just an understanding of where we are. Who thinks that Obama sold black people out? They didn't do shit for black people.
I believe absolutely.
I believe that. Okay.
Because he's trying to talk. Flash your mic.
So cool. And most people believe that, right? And the reason why most people believe that is because the government is a structure, right? And what happens is the Democrats and the Republicans are two different parties, right? But one of them is actually built on capitalism, right? Complete capitalism. One of them is built on power structure. It's the same principles that got us in slavery, right? It's fuck what they think. This is the best thing for us. We're going to do this shit. If we got to kill, crook, steal, whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it, right? And then you have a Democratic Party that is peaceful. They kumbaya. Let's all come together. Let's see what we can do. I want this nation to be better. I want poor people to be able to do some things. Let me try to do that, right? So that ideology sounds good to people, right? So when they go out there and they preach that shit, the average person like, yeah, that's what we need, right? Black people need some shit. So they come into this with all this energy. J. Cole said the realest shit. He said they gave a nigga he said they made him the captain of the ship, but they didn't tell him that the boat was about to sink, right? So what I'm trying to explain to you is the politic game is so fucked up. When you look at Joe Biden and say that he's selling black people out, this whole shit is set up like this, right? They said he's gonna win the presidency. No Republican is gonna do nothing that Joe Biden wants. I don't give a fuck what he say. I don't give a fuck how many times he come up here. And we got some niggas that's Democrats, that's Republicans too, where they just look like they Democrats, right? So every time Joe Biden comes and say, okay, I promised the black people that I was going to do this, so this is the bill I'm going to put on the table. Absolutely no, Joe. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. And if you bring that shit back up, the other 4 or 5 bills that you're trying to pass, that you need for this infrastructure and all that shit, we're not going to pass none of it. So don't bring no motherfucking George Floyd here, because we're not doing no immunity. And if you try to make an executive order, the next 20 bills that you try to pass, my nigga, we not passing nothing. I don't give a fuck what you think is gonna happen. We not passing none of that shit. So he thought that he had some cool people. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm cool with the Republicans. I know how to deal with these guys. They love me. I used to be one of them. I know all this shit. So he probably actually thought he could do something. He literally actually, I know Cedric Richardson is somebody that I'm close with. A lot of his cabinets, a lot of people I know from his cabinets, people that I was on the front lines in his work with, that he hired. These people don't give a fuck about black people, bro. You can go to them and say, we need the LGBT law passed. The Republicans say, okay, fine, pass it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say, we need this China law. Okay, pass it. But we need you to do this for black people. We're not doing
nothing for the black people because we know that's your strongest base, and we're gonna make sure that they know that you can't do nothing. So eventually, they're either gonna stop voting or they're gonna come over here with us. So this shit is all a game. I don't give a fuck about Biden because at this point they should know the game. Obama didn't understand the game. Obama went in the White House and thought, yo, I'm a black man. People voted me here. I'm gonna do the best I can. People look at him now and say, Obama sold us out. Obama did the best shit he could. Them Republicans wasn't letting that man get nothing done. They said, man, you think Obama literally, he tried to pass all these laws to free all these people that they allowed Trump to do halfway. This man was trying to get retroactive drug laws passed to where anybody that was under certain statutory, dating back fucking 20 and 30 years would just be freed right now. Them people said, are you out of your fucking mind? You think we letting those people get out of here? We not giving you nothing. He had to literally sign over 1,000 executive orders to get people free. No president in the history did that. But niggas would say, Trump let people go home. Obama was trying to let everybody go home. But nobody was allowing them. So I understand what you're saying. I understand what I'm not saying that you're wrong. Biden is a piece of shit. He don't know how to do it. He don't have no backbone. He not gonna speak up. He not gonna do anything. But that's what this is the parties. So until we decide to build our own party, I don't give a fuck what president you get in. They not gonna do nothing for black people. They not, and the Republicans are dirtier. So what they'll do is throw you a fake bowl because they really control. So if the Republicans say, you know what, we want to give the black people a little bit of something, the Democrats they're gonna say no. They're gonna say okay, cool, because we've been trying to get them anything anyway. So if you just giving them a little bit, we all for it. But when the Democrats come and say, yo, we want to really give them some, the Republicans say, fuck you, we not giving you nothing. So when you look at the strategy that they have, it's you can't win. It's an unwinnable strategy, my nigga. So I need you to understand. A lot of times, I believe everything people say, but when you understand politics, this shit ain't built for black people. America never was built for black people to win. Poor black people are never supposed to get past where they are because they create capitalism. Poor black people create capitalism. The more you poor, the more you out here committing crimes, the more you starving, the more jailhouses they open, the more free labor they get. We control the economy. They can't have you move up because there's no capitalism, right? If you ain't out here poor and starving and running around committing crimes and they're able to open more jails and have low income shit and do a bunch of shit to where you just a worker that makes the rich people keep getting richer, there is no capitalism. So don't just look at Joe Biden. This shit is a game, bro. Every one of these presidents actually wants to. You think he don't want to be able to say, I passed this fucking bill and say, look, I did it for y'all, so you can say I'm the best president? They took a fucking $3 billion fucking package that he put and cut this shit to $1 billion. And the black man, the black nigga, the fucking black Republican nigga said, no, this George Floyd bill, we're not doing that shit. They took everything out of the bill. Completely drained it. They sent their black token nigga over here to sit down and say, okay, yeah, we're gonna get this done. And they stripped the whole bill from $3 billion to $1 billion and took everything that black people wanted out of it. And these niggas is soft because they're not gonna say nothing because they just want to get anything done. So that's what they skip. That's what their problem is. These niggas is soft. And I don't think they're trying to sell us up, but this shit is not designed for black people, bro. It's no president they're gonna put in office that's gonna do nothing for black people. And that's a fact.
Hey, Mike's gonna access.
Hold on 1 second. Chicago Don wanted to speak.
Yeah, hey, to piggyback off what my son saying, like real shit, like that's real shit, bro. But also too, like I always say, bro, like honestly, it ain't all the president too. It's really what people in your area too, like them senators, them aldermen and all that, because they've been in office for a long motherfucking time. And y'all notice like they be in office and they be passing laws like under our nose and shit we don't even like see, you know what I'm saying? And they just be collecting paychecks, just doing some shiesty ass shit. So I definitely agree, but also too, like I got in a mentality that, you know what I'm saying, like for a long time, bro. Like I'm 30 now, you know what I'm saying? And I got in a mentality that like ain't nobody gonna do nothing for me. I gotta do for myself and do for my family, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like now I just understand that shit. Like I didn't feel that Obama was gonna do everything for black people, but I mean he did what he's supposed to do, but at the same time he was cleaning Bush's mess too, you know what I mean? So it's all, and also too, one last thing too, they do pick presidents though, so they be knowing, you know, what I'm saying, who the president gonna be. So and I yield my mic on that part.
I just want to say something to Mice real quick. Do you think it was a positive thing to have Kamala Harris become the vice president? Because for a long time, women didn't have a voice. For a long time, the women's vote really didn't matter. But even when you look back, when Hillary Clinton was trying to become president, I already knew she wasn't going to become president. But do you think Kamala Harris being the vice president was like a level up, like change is gonna come?
I'm just saying, but why wouldn't it be why wouldn't we give black women a chance? Everybody else had a chance. I'd rather a black woman than they had other white men, the Chinese, they had everybody else. Why wouldn't I rather a black woman get an opportunity? Everybody else done fucked up and did whatever. Let's see what she do. Like that's my mentality. At this point, nobody has done nothing for black people in America. None of these administrations have done nothing. So for me, I'd rather see a black woman get there. Give her opportunity because she can't do no worse than already been done. What worse can Kamala Harris do that's already been done? That's what I want to know. She could do worse than Pence. She could do worse than Clinton. Like who can she do worse than that's already been in office? So that's what it is for me. Is I would rather see our people get an opportunity. If we fuck up, we fuck up. But they've been fucking up this country for hundreds of years. So give us an opportunity. I don't expect. It's like for me, it's like I don't expect to win. I have no expectations from this government. I understand. Like you said, we have to do shit. We're gonna have to build our own shit from the inside out. We're gonna have to build our own shit. I don't think that the government is gonna do anything to help black people because it's not in their best interest to help poor black people. Black people are the poorest in America. And the poorest in America is what feeds the economy. The low labor, the free labor, the jail system, or if you look at every industry that you look at Amazon, you look at anything else. Hello? My fault. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
You look at Amazon, you look at all of these industries that make billions of dollars. You know who's the main laborers in those people? Black people. Poor black and brown people. We are the bottom feeders in America. This is a fact. Some of us that got money, but the majority of black people in America are poor, below poverty. That's what feeds capitalism. So if they figure out a way to stop y'all from being poor, then how the fuck capitalism continue to grow? How do the rich keep getting richer? If we make the poor people, wealthy and everybody is thriving here, then we can't have a hierarchy. So it's not in the best interest for them to do anything for black people. So like fuck it, let Kamala get a shot. Any black people, listen, any black person, any black blood, they get an opportunity to get in a position. Why not? The white people been doing it for years.
Yeah, but I feel like we was moving into a space when Trump was president, where you seen more black people actually tapping into politics. You know what I'm saying? Like more black people was aware. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of went away. Then you had dudes like Kanye say, you know what? I'm gonna start something called. I mean, it might have been like a marketing strategy. I'm gonna start a party called the birthday party, and then like Diddy came out, and I think he said he wanted to start like his own independent party. And now it's like I don't see that same sense of urgency from our people. Like no one's involved in politics. No one's even saying anything. You know, of course we got the people like you, Mice, who your disposition is still your disposition. And how you feel, and you stand on it, you take it with you everywhere. But like a lot of these figures, you know, they're not saying nothing. So I do commend Kanye for, you know, at least saying something. So I don't feel like anything he's saying is gimmicky. Like I feel like he's stating what should be the obvious the most. It shouldn't have to take for Trump to be in office for us to figure the game out. You know what I'm saying?
For me, when Trump was in office, I said it was the best thing for black people. Because now y'all gonna wake up. Now y'all can look and see that a person who was a fucking game show host, was a millionaire that did all type of shit, that was did everything, had no anything, is in the White House in control of this country, that's in control of nuclear bombs. If he decides his ego, he gonna go beef with, like, this is the person that we put in control of our life. Now you have to wake up and see how serious shit is. This man is so not presidential that it don't even make sense. So when you start to see somebody like Trump, you realize, oh, this shit is really, these people don't give a fuck about us here. So it woke people up. I'm 100% aware of that. And I said, once again, once Trump was gone, people was going to go back to sleep because they're going to feel like we was out of imminent danger. But we're not out of imminent danger. You know, and that's why there's going to be people that follow the trend. There's going to be people that go to the march when, you know, they see George Floyd. And then there's going to be people that's going to march for a nigga named Floyd that lived down the block that had the same shit happen that didn't get on TV. Some of us is going to sustain that work. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to utilize those times when the world gravitates to it and they move, and we're going to utilize those times to continue to highlight what's going on. But some of us going to do that work regardless. You know, some of us understand that. And it's not going to always be sustained by everybody. This movement is going to be certain people that this is their livelihood. This is what they do. This is their life's work. This is what their calling is. To be in this world and fight for civil rights, down the cross, to do whatever the fuck it is that you have to do for the betterment of your people. So we have to understand that. But at the end of the day, that's not going to always happen. We have to be more savvy, politically savvy, and understand exactly where we are, exactly what politics is, exactly what America is, the corporation. You know, and corporations have hierarchy and law. People that work in the office, they got people that work in the basement. In the basement to make the company run. In this company, black people are the people that work in the basement. And if they somehow elevate from the basement, then who gonna work in the basement? Who gonna do the work that needs to be done there? It's not in nobody's best interest to give black people the opportunity to be completely successful and give them equity and equality. It is not in the best interest of America to do that. And only way that's going to happen is by force. Their structure and system and none of that shit is not going to just say, hey, okay, you know what, we're going to give all the black people, we're going to give them reparations, we're going to give you the land we owe you, we're going to put you all in position to where you can do what you want. That's not going to happen. So we're going to be mad every day why we don't get because nigga, if we give you reparations, then you ain't going to be in this motherfucking field carrying this shit. You ain't going to be picking this cotton. You ain't going to be working in the slum places that we need all the shit that really feeds the billion-dollar industry. We can't give you all of that. It don't make sense for us. So that's the reality of what we living in, man.
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. The free labor and the slavery mentality is in the prison systems. Niggas is building fucking traffic signs and fucking doing all types of shit in prison for like 5 cents an hour, some crazy shit. But if you watch the Kanye West interview, he did talk about building the Black Wall Street. Not too many rappers talk about building the Black Wall Street. That's worth $9 billion.
Now, do y'all think Kanye West would be willing to sell those Yeezys, like sell the Yeezy business to be really delivered to the title of like being having like the $9 billion? You know, we're talking about overall. If you were to sell these things, like his net worth, you know, if Diddy were to sell Ciroc, and you know, if Kanye were to sell Yeezys, and then that's when he will become this, this super billionaire, this $9 billionaire, and all that. So it's like, do you think that he'd be willing to part with that? I don't think that he would. I don't think that it's enough. I think he wants more. You understand? And to Mike, as far as Kamala Harris, I mean, are we gonna give her a pass just because she's black? I mean, her track record in California is wicked, brother.
I'm just saying, who track record ain't wicked? I hear what you're saying, but tell me the politician that got this good track record. that's running for vice president. Then we can vote in, and we can be like, yo, this track record they got is dope. We want this person to be that has an opportunity to be the vice president.
Yo, y'all funny as shit. Yo, we can't get no likes. What's going on in here? This nigga mysonne that boring. We can't even get no likes. Or nobody don't like mysonne. What's going on, yo? Support the channel, yo. We need to get on that homepage. Help us get 100 likes.
Yo, Rick, it's getting so bad. I'm starting to lose.
We feel like they can win, and we're gonna do something.
I'm gonna keep it 100, right? I personally feel like, out of all the presidents, right? Y'all may disagree with me when it comes to results, right? Not personal. I feel like.
Guapo, what up? Krieg, what up?
The only reason I'm gonna say that is this, right? Because as a capitalist country, right? You got real estate, you got all these different things, right? The knowledge is there, but as a black person, you still have to go out there and get it. Like politics is not about, yo, black people been through this, so you know what I mean? Like they're never gonna give us this land. They're never gonna give us the 40 years in the new. But what Trump did was he did allow jobs that wasn't there before. It's up for you to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just because I just want you to just simplify this, right?
Okay.
You have one party, right, whose goal is to try to build equality, who's trying to get, black people. Because if you look, because just think about it, the majority of Democrats, for the most part, they have maybe the majority, most of them I know are minorities, right? They have a high percentage of black and brown people in the Democratic Party that come from the same communities we come from. That some of them I've grown up with. I got congressmen and all that shit that come from my hood that I know. They've been through the same shit. They want shit changed in our community. I know this for a fact. Right?
Right.
Most
but look, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the thing is, right, when you're a Democrat like Barack was, right, when 9 times out of 10, when you become this Democrat president, you're going to get blocked at anywhere you go.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Right. So when I agree, but what I'm trying to explain, right, when Trump, he took over the Republican Party, he was beefing with Mitch McConnell. He was beefing with Paul Ryan. He was beefing with Jeb Bush. He was beefing with Adam Schiff. He was beefing, and they knew because a lot of his ideology was Democratic ideals.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
I can name a lot.
His ideology was business. He was more business than politician. So he had a strategy, right? It's the same reason. It's the same shit like Kanye going to the White House. The average politician is like, I'm not sitting down with that fucking fool. What am I going to sit down with Kanye West? He's not even on my strategy. I don't care about what the blacks did. So Kanye West, coming from the hip hop community, understand how many powerful black people was in that community, how many people who had influence in that community, understanding that he had influence in that community because most of the rappers had his name. So he understood the value of that community. He's saying, y'all bugged out. Even though I don't like black people, I don't give a fuck about black people, but I understand the strategy. If you make them think that you could give them an inch, you show a black person here standing next to you, and you say, here, we're going to give you a scholarship. They're going to say, wow, Trump is the greatest man in the world. Look what Trump did. I'm going to say, he said HBCUs haven't been getting this money. They had to come back every year. Well, fuck it. They got to come back every year. Just make it so that they get it for 10 years straight.
I get that, but for me, I study politics like every day, all day. Before Trump got into office, during Trump, I'm still studying it. Like the whole Russia collusion thing, it's things happening with that. It's things happening with these audits. I'm one of the people that actually look into it, right? And one thing I can say is that for me, what Trump did was, we understand when Trump got into office, it was a group of white men, right? Yeah. And it's 1%, right? Pulling strings, and then when Trump came in, he represented another group of racist white men, right? Yeah. That now became a civil war between this group of racist white men for this control, right? And then now this group of racist white men. So that was never the black people fight. But what it did was it weakened the government, which in turn helped us because we had no position in there from the beginning. You get what
But
I'm
how
saying?
did it weaken? How did it weaken them to where we got a position when they was fighting amongst each other for power? How did it weaken them to us to get a position?
I can name a bunch of different ways. Like right now, right, the Pfizer court is in shambles. That's one of the courts that they was using to surveil on us since the beginning of time. That's one thing, right? You got these things as far as these other countries that didn't have a voice, right? They got a voice now. They protesting all over the world now. They seeing like, okay, this shit is deeper. This shit bigger than the president of the United States. These 10 people right here, these 10 families that been controlling everything. Oh shit, this is what's going on. So now you see the Giuliani's beefing with this one and that one and this one. It's a white racist civil war, and we need that. Like we need to sit back and let them go at each other and weaken their own system.
So how do you benefit? How do you benefit if they
Hold
have
on, let my son say something, and then G, you came off your mic. G, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to say. I'm gonna let Mice talk.
So we're gonna have Mice talk, and then Skills mute your mic because then we can't hear.
So yeah, what I'm saying is, if they're having a civil war, right, and while they having a civil war, we're not advancing, right? There's no advancement, but we're not creating nothing that's outside of the structure of America that can rival the structure of America. We haven't created anything. We're sitting here saying that we want Trump or we with this person. There's nothing that's being built outside of that. So them having a civil war is them having a civil war for control. And it's not like we sneaking in the back door saying, okay, they fighting, we're gonna control some shit. That's not what happened. We still going to jail at the highest rates. We still got the highest rate of unemployment. We still got the highest rate of illiteracy. So how is it benefiting us?
Well, one thing. Oh, go ahead, Harlem. My fault. Go ahead.
Hold on, guys, because G wanted to speak too. I don't know if Harlem, were you before G? All right, so we're gonna have G speak, and then if Harlem wanted to speak, go ahead, and then Skills.
All right, now I hear you saying that Trump is beefing with everybody, but we gotta get some substance to that. Like when he was beefing with Mitch McConnell, was because Mitch McConnell didn't agree with January 6th. He was cool with Mitch McConnell up until then, and he didn't agree with the election laws. Mitch McConnell is also a person that stops bills. He's the head of the Republican Party who stops the bill. They call him the Grim Reaper because he kills every bill that passes through him. He's the one who didn't want to pass the George Floyd bill. Giuliani, he beefed with Giuliani because Giuliani didn't represent him good when he had this little thing about he won the election and everything. He didn't represent him good and he made a fool of himself. That's why he beefed with Giuliani. So when you throw things out there, you gotta add substance to it. That's all I gotta say.
Nah, he was beefing with them prior.
No. Trump never. First of all, Trump never beefed with Giuliani. Giuliani is Trump's personal lawyer. Giuliani got into the beef because on behalf of Donald Trump, they said that they started off by saying that Donald Trump colluded with Russia, which now turned out to be false, right? It's people getting arrested for that right now as we speak. John Durham, right? The Attorney General. But Giuliani got involved because in Ukraine, it was the Biden family who was colluding with Ukraine. That second impeachment that they said Donald Trump was on the phone. They said Joe Biden was on the phone with the president from Ukraine, quid pro quo, right? That was a true thing. This is where Giuliani, now we know Giuliani if you're from New York, right? But they loved him all the way up until he started defending who? Donald Trump. And as soon as he started defending Donald Trump, going against the Bidens, right? Going against, this is deeper. This is we talking child trafficking. We talking about, it's just a whole lot of things that's going on. And like I said, as far as my thing is, I don't know how black people could benefit from them having this civil war. You know what I mean? Because we don't really have no position in their power. Only thing I know where it help us at is the fact that it allows people like me to acknowledge who's these players, who's these enemies. You know what I mean? Who we have to know.
Thanks, Skills. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to Harlem. Did you want to say something, Harlem?
No. I'm just listening.
Okay. Is there anybody else that hasn't spoke yet that wants to say something before we go back? I'll hand the mic back to Skills or G. I forgot which one wanted to speak. Okay, G, go ahead.
It sounds like you throwing a little bit of facts with conspiracy theories when you're saying child trafficking and all that stuff. I don't know where you're going with that. It's like you throwing things out there but not adding no substance. But like I said, when it comes to Trump beefing with, like Mitch McConnell, like I said, that was because of the January 6th incident and stuff like that. But you got to understand, it's two different parties. Like my son said, it's two different parties, and the Republicans don't want to let anything go through. When Trump left office, he put judges in position just in case I leave, you take over. Those are the people that's in power, the judges and stuff like that. That's passing laws and down south, the voters' right law and stuff like that, or the abortion law. Stuff like that, senators and stuff like that. Those are the people that we need to target and get out of office. It's not just the president, but yeah, that's all I want to say.
Nah, you're right, but I also believe that, right? Look, right, you got the, like you said, the Republican Democrat Party, right, which is ultimately being controlled by the same people. So if I say, okay, right, I'm gonna fund the Bloods over here, then I'm gonna fund the Crips over here. Which, you know, these are the things that was done in these communities. CONTELPRO, Black Panther Party, right? So now I'm gonna have y'all representing this. I'm gonna have y'all representing that, right? So this way we cover the basis on the whole situation, right? Now we're gonna give you a false hope and make you believe that there is change. Like if you vote for me. Meanwhile, there's no real change. Everybody's spending money to get in there, right? Lobbying and all these things. So when you have that system, right, and then you have somebody like Donald Trump who comes along and use most of his personal money and most of his friends' money to get in there. Now the people that's controlling both of these parties, he's disobeying them, right? So now by him disobeying them, it's causing them to come outside and speak. These European forums that's happening, the Queen, right? I don't want to name too much other stuff, but then now you see all these people coming out the woodwork and you like, oh shit, this is what's going on. So you kind of sit back and you let them go through that, because before you could build, you got to destroy. And unless you know who's at the top and who's really pulling the strings, we're going to always be focused on Kamala Harris, who will never have power.
I agree to a certain extent. It's not even funny. The thing is, what I said from the beginning is that the whole structure of government and capitalism does not benefit the black man, right? And the reason why you know that is we figured out ways to interject into it, right? Every time we said, okay, that's what y'all doing, all work, because we know how to play any game that they give us, that they show us, we can outplay them. And they know that. So what they do is every time we figure out capitalism, we figure out how to get our own shit, they destroy it. They knock it down. It's not, this system, within this system is not for us to do it. So what I'm trying to say is, in order for us to get anywhere, I don't give a fuck what president we vote for, the shit that we talking about, they're not going to do it. And it's always going to look like the Republicans do more for black people, because the Republicans actually have the say-so over what can get done for black people. And they understand that. So it's like I'm saying, if you have a whole black party that's trying to get laws passed, but they got to get the okay from the Republicans. So they come in with real laws, yo, we want to get all this shit done, we want to get this done. And they're like, nah, we're not passing none of that shit. But when the Republicans come to the black people and say, you know what, we decide we want to give y'all a crumb. The black people ain't going to say no. They trying to get anything done. So if you come to them with a crumb and then the Republican look like he did something. But we like, damn, we were trying to get some real shit done. And y'all make it seem like he really did something. You know, and that's where we are in America. So this shit is all a game, bro. It's all a game. We can't win here, bro. Can't.
Nah, yeah, I agree. And you know what's so crazy, right? You got 98% of the Democratic Party who's good people. These are people, grandmothers. These are people, aunts and uncles and people that have been through the struggle. But when you got the top 2% of the Democratic Party that they using that as a way to pander for the black vote, right? That's why nothing get done. And then you got a person like me that say, okay, cool, you know, these Republicans ain't shit neither, but at least they did throw us that bone, because I really understand that somebody have to give us something. You know what I mean? We don't own shit. So we gonna have somebody got to give up something. You know, if you give us one thing, that's one more thing than yesterday that we didn't have. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I want more, but I'm just a realist.
Yeah, but you know, statistics shows, you can Google it, that the economy does better under Democratic presidents than Republicans. Think about it. The reception happened under who? A Republican president.
George Bush. Like, so just think about that too. Also, I understand. I got my issues with the Democrat Party, but I just feel like when a Democrat president get in office, like my son said, you got Republicans. When Obama came in office, you had the Republicans in office during that time. They hit the House right away as soon as he became the president, and they blocked every bill he tried to pass. Even now, they have an issue. Biden's trying to pass bills, but Mitch McConnell is not trying to pass nothing. They call him the Grim Reaper.
I can't stand Mitch McConnell. I'm sorry.
He don't pass nothing. They trying it. So what they call is a bipartisan bill, where even though we trying to get some stuff, but he has to make some form of agreement with the Republicans. Like he got to give them what they want to get what we want. So sometimes he got to like dummy down the bill a little bit just to get something through. And it's sad it got to be that way, but that's the game they got to play to get certain bills passed through. Like my son said, they ain't trying to pass the Floyd Mayweather bill. They get everything. They passed the Chinese bill. They passed the LGBTQ bill and all that stuff, but they not trying to pass the Floyd bill because Mitch McConnell don't want to pass anything to protect cops or anything like that. They not passing.
Hey G, can I speak up to you real quick, bro? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm black. I'm a minority, right? I feel like most of us are stuck in the matrix. To be quite honest with you, the news media is split in a crazy division. Half of the news media favors the Democrat Party, and the other half favors the Republican Party. So how can I watch the news media and believe anything that they're saying to me, bro?
I would like to say something really quick, and sorry while you were talking, G, that I cut you off, but the name Mitch McDonald, he's really triggering. During this whole entire pandemic, I think that man is evil. He would not pass certain things in the hero bill to help people, and I don't want to get into the particulars, but I really do think that man is evil, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
No, and you gotta understand. I understand y'all talk about votes and all that stuff, but our votes do count. You gotta think about Atlanta turned blue. That's a southern state. That's why Trump was mad and wanted to do the recount. He couldn't believe that a southern state turned blue, Democrat. So you gotta understand. Like I know we like, oh, our votes don't count, but this is the first time in history where the blacks have voted the most. We got Biden in office, even though I do feel like he should do more, but I do understand a lot of things not his fault because we got Republicans that's going to block it.
Right.
And that was my point. Like I'm not. The thing is that we don't have. We have yet to have a Democratic president that has the same mentality as the Republican president, because they don't give a fuck. They go in there and they like, man, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm here for my base. They got me in office to do this. That's what I'm here to do. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to peacefully coexist, nigga. We at war every time, and every time you get, a Democratic president, they like, okay, well let's just try to be bipartisan, Let's sit down. I don't want it to be this way. I want to figure out how we can all benefit. And that shit don't work. The kumbaya shit don't work. And it's just like, and that's why it always looks the same way. And that's why I don't even want to be involved in politics, because I understand certain shit that most people don't see. And I see certain shit. And a lot of these politicians that come from our community, they really want to do good. And then they get into them buildings and then they see the shit and be like, damn, this shit, you can't do no good here. We just got to figure out some other shit because this ain't gonna work. And that's just reality.
So why not watch them fight and then put some dents in their armor while we get our shit together?
But that would make sense if we was getting our shit together. Just sitting there watching them fight while they decide how many of us go to jail, how many of us get jobs, and we ain't creating no other shit outside of that. It don't make sense.
No, but that was what
I believe it's a lot of people are getting.
Hold on 1 second, Skills. Valley, finish what you were saying, and then Skills.
No, I'm just gonna say, but that I think that's what they was doing. They was fighting and going at it when Trump was in office, and then we came along with the kumbaya, let's fix this shit, and the advanced black people, and they butted in on the verses. They for the presidential campaign, the NBA was down. Everybody was down with the shit while they was fighting. You know what I'm saying? When the brother said something like, half the media is controlled by this one, half the media is controlled by that. I mean, I get where you're going. I don't personally agree with that. I think most of the Democratic Party controls all media. You know what I'm saying? And the only way that they was able to control us during that little awakening that when Trump was in office, you know what I'm saying, was through media. And we would eventually, I think personally, we was getting our shit together. And then they just came with this kumbaya shit, and it actually worked because Biden came in office and nobody even gives a fuck. Like, and we can give him the excuse, right? And say like, yo, it's not set up for him to win, and this person is blocking the bill, and that person. Well, it's on him to publicly call them people out because when we know Trump enemies, why do we know Trump enemies? Because as a president, he was alerting the people, yo, this one I want to get it done, this one don't want to do it. I want to get this shit done.
Hold on, I think Skills was next.
No, let me say one thing. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's my criticism of the Democratic Party, is that they don't have the testicular fortitude to call shit out and say, yo, this was going on. That was my problem with Obama. I was like, yo, we know all this shit was going on, but Obama ain't never say, yo, niggas don't want to let shit get done, bro. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. But then it turns into, you know, what happens is you create like fucking political coups that go against the government, and people don't want to they don't want to do shit like that. Nobody wants to be responsible for creating some shit that makes people lose faith in the whole government system. No president or anything except for Trump. And you see the shit he's going through now based on that. So I understand, like, it's the ideology that Trump had would have been perfect if he was a black man and he was for our issues. It just his mentality and the way he like, fuck this government, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and this shit don't go according to how I feel, is how we need to be feeling in order to get our shit done. But we don't have nobody with that mentality. And that's why you can't beat. That's why Trump still has an imprint on the fucking government a year after he's the president. People still talking about Trump. Like, because he went contrary. So his ideology is what we need. But his mentality is what we need. But his ideology is just not for us.
Yeah, and then it's like you said, like a year later, because he created a situation to where so many movements that came after him, black and white, you know what I mean, that knows where they got to attack now. You know, when you become a politician, especially a president, you need $2.5 billion to even run damn near a successful race. So it's like, who's giving you $2.5 billion? It's like a record deal. I know I give you $2.5 million. I want these 3 albums. That's mine. And you're going to push whatever messages that I want you to. And this is what they do. And politics is the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like, you know, if a person's not coming in there with their own money to where they can speak their own mind and however you do, whether it's my ideology for my peoples or not, I don't want no puppets in front of me. At least let me know that you're against me. Or at least let me know you with me. You know what I mean? And I think once we can see through that, then I don't know where we go from there. But we need to finally see through like who's really for us and who's not. We having like a hard time with that.
I think we're leaving out like a crucial part of politics, and everybody's making great points. Everybody making crazy good points, but it's a crucial part of politics that's called lobbying. And black people really, the NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, they really not having a presence when it comes to lobbying for black issues. When you look at the NRA, you look at the Environmentalist Society, you look at the pharmaceutical companies, the American Cross, Blue Cross Blue Shield, they all lobby for issues consistently. Like they're lobbying every day, they're lobbying all the time on Capitol Hill. The Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP have kind of let us down over the past 10 or 15 years. And I think that's like a very crucial part of politics. It's kind of being left out.
To be honest with you, I think we should just focus on local government. Forget about the president. Let's focus on the mayors of our cities, and let's focus on local government and stuff and try to pull each other together, man. Because the president ain't going to do shit for us. I'm going to keep it a buck.
I can feel you on that.
Yeah, because they have longer positions than president, some of them like local government.
Nah, but I can feel you on that. But then also some of the people from local government being other politicians' pockets, and then now it gets hard to decipher what's what. I remember when we was in Newark and they was doing the whole. I'm from Newark, so when they was doing the whole mayor thing, and my man, well, not my man, but Raz Baraka wound up being the mayor. A lot of before he became mayor, a lot of commercials was coming out like, "Yo, this dude, he be with Diddy. He don't care nothing about North. He be flying on private jets, popping bottles. He be doing like that." That's the narrative they tried to point at him. But Diddy did say, "Yeah, this is my man." You understand? So as far as the local government, I do agree that that'll be the best thing. But sometimes, like, they got somebody that they have to answer to. And also, my son brought up a great point earlier when he was talking about Trump just getting up there, saying whatever he wanted to say, et cetera, et cetera. That go back to when Kanye got up there on stage and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna say whatever I want, and I'm gonna still win. I'm on my Trump shit tonight." And then he was just like, "Yo, Obama had to basically quote unquote be the perfect nigga." You understand? He can articulate the hell out of himself, but was he really able to express himself? That's different. Articulating yourself in his fashion, it was honorable. It was dope. It was like he was super well spoken. But expressing how he really felt, being from Chicago, I felt like he couldn't do that. And I felt like when Trump came up there and showed his ass to the people, you understand, and didn't care like what came out of his mouth. You know what I mean? Didn't even care how he pitched to the black people. His pitch was, I'm a salesperson too. His pitch was, "Yo, what you got to lose?" Like, I'm like, damn, bro, that's your pitch to us? Like, you know what I mean? But like you said, like homie said, it was up front to our face. He let me know what was going on. You understand? And now we got this dude Biden in here that kind of got in there on some slick shit. His pitch was the same way. Yo, if you vote for me, you ain't black.
That's
I'm
a
like,
fact.
damn, bro. You like, yo, you like this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I'm park my bike right there.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was crazy though, saying if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and that was really the pitch. What? And I seen this man on TV for 2 times since he been in office, and when I see him, he sleep.
But I'm gonna tell you the difference in the pitches, right? They both said the same thing, but one said it out of real, genuine, not give a fuckness because they didn't put him there. The other one said it because he said it in your face and he was comfortable with saying the shit on our Breakfast Club, because he knew they was putting him there. So they both said the same thing, but one said it because he put himself there and his people's got him in that house. And because that's what, like, Trump shit was more genuine. I don't give a fuck. What do you got to lose? And I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to know who the fuck I got to punch in the face, or I like to know who I got to go to the yard.
The bottom line is everybody ain't punching him in the face. See, the thing is we celebrate our own demise, bro. We look at hip hop artists. We want the artist that's telling us to kill ourselves. We want the artist that's telling you that he got more money than you and you a bum and you don't got nothing and you gonna go spend your $12 to support a nigga that's telling you that you nobody because he got more money than you. He brag every day about how much money. For that shit, he says that shit every day, and y'all niggas love it. Like, oh shit, yo, that's my nigga. Look how much money he got. He ain't doing nothing for the community, ain't giving nothing back, and niggas like, that's the nigga I want to spend my money on.
I agree with my.
Yeah, we celebrate our own demise. We want to. The nigga could tell you, you ain't got shit. I got way more money than you. Boom, boom. You niggas is bums. We got high class. You on the lower level. I'm on this, and nigga go out and buy that album every day. Nigga telling you how stupid and poor you are, and you support that. We don't support a nigga that's. So that's what we celebrate our own demise. Niggas ain't trying to punch Trump in the mouth. You have black niggas saying, I'm with Trump. Whatever Trump, I don't give a fuck. He's just racist and all that, but at least I know. So what does that mean? Tell me, how does that benefit you?
That's
It's one of
facts.
them things.
Go ahead.
One mic.
Hold on. Who came off their mic first? Skills?
No, it was Skills. My bad. I interrupted him.
All
My
right,
fault.
so Skills will answer Mice, and then Belly will go.
Yeah, Mike. It's like it's one of them things, right? You've been up north. We've been up north, right? We know that in this dorm, right? All these police is on the same team. We know they all crackers. We know they all racist, right? But we know this next shift, we might can get something from this officer that we probably wouldn't even. We can't talk to the previous officer, right? So that's I think the approach that like we kind of saying, not that we like the demise. And politics and music is kind of different. You right, motherfuckers rather listen to this whole shit and these people that's talking about bitches and hoes and this, right, than support Carmen or somebody that's talking positivity. And that's a choice because for me, you can see the difference between an artist that's rapping these things, but in politics, you kind of don't know nobody. You don't know none of these white people in politics. You kind of it's more confusing than music. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, but it's a little different.
Thank you. Go ahead, Belly.
Oh no, I'm straight. I wasn't gonna really say nothing.
I wanted to ask my son a question. First of all, I want to salute all the queens and the kings in the room. My son, I wanted to know, I see your stance on how you feel about politics, and you're saying that you don't really feel it like that, but what would be your mode? You deal with a lot of people, you're face to face with a lot of people that can get in positions. How would you mold them? What characters would you build in these people to make them play the position that needs to be played? Because you say a lot and you do a lot and you move a lot. Your voice can be heard, and you could probably mold the next person that's willing to listen. Would you back them? How would you support them? If you could say, and what would be your model person?
Well, I think for me, and that's a good question, Queen. Thank you for the the support. I think for me, like I'm looking at the structure of the government. Somebody needs to mute their mic. So I'm looking at the structure of the government and saying we have to build something different, and that's been my motto. We need something different. Even when when the election was going on, and in all transparency, I was telling people don't vote for Trump. So that meant vote for Biden. So I never was a Biden fan. I never was anything. I just knew that to give Trump, what we was creating with Trump was anarchy, right? We was putting a dictator in power. When you looked at him not even want to leave the White House and how insurrection, all those things, it just shows you if you gave that man 4 more years, the amount of power he had. He had the same mentality and power structure that Hitler had. And that was dangerous for black people because we the last on the totem pole. So I wasn't gonna give that man the 4 more years to get more power. I figured this administration we had a better chance of fighting and beating, because they weren't weak and they weren't as strong as Trump was, and they didn't have the same agenda he had. So that was my mentality. But all the time I kept saying we need to create something different. And for the next 4 years, we should be building our own power structure. We should be getting behind politicians that we want, people that we know that definitely have the same agenda we want. We should be building up our own voting base of trying to get about 5 or 6 million people that we know is going to vote right now. That's going to get on our plan. We should be doing tours to where we creating our own power structure within America, to where we're building our own shit, because this structure here is not for us. And we need to have politicians that have the same mentality that the Republicans have, that the same mentality that Trump have, that go in there with an agenda for our people and our culture and our community that's unwavering, that they're not trying to sit there and deal with you. They're not trying to compromise. This is what we're doing or nothing is getting done. And we need those type of people because we have not bred those type of politicians that's for our people. Our people are like, like Obama, that's saying, yo, you know what? I'm gonna do the best thing I can within reason. I'm gonna have principles. I'm gonna have manners. I'm gonna go according to the system. I'm not gonna go outside. It's not by any means necessary. I'm gonna win and I'm gonna do what needs to be done. We don't have that mentality. We don't have a do or die mentality. We have, I'm gonna do whatever is within the system that I can do and anything that's not within the system, you know, it's just not within my power, and I'm gonna bow out. They don't have that mentality. You know, when you look at slavery, when you look at all of those shit, it's because they have a mentality to conquer. That's what it is. When you look at America, these people are conquerors. You know, this is what they do. They go from place to place and conquer. It's because they conquer people who want to do shit right. You know, the same shit they did to the Native Americans. When we look, we have to create a structure, and we have to have leaders who have that same mentality and warrior-like mentality. That's what I would get behind that.
Facts. Yeah. That's a fact. I agree with I agree with that totally, 110%. But at the rate we going, we don't create that warrior mentality, and where we at with it right now, we create that warrior mentality in that sad anarchy. We create that warrior mentality when we in a harsh environment, because that's what we know how to do. You know, like 2020 was crazy. Like they was telling us to go in the house. We wasn't in the house. We was outside protesting. You know, they was telling us it was something killing us called coronavirus. We wasn't listening. We wasn't giving a fuck. You know, so you create that warrior mentality and that through that anarchy, through that fire. Now y'all not gonna keep doing this to us. Now we going out here and we gonna do what the fuck we want to do. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into kumbaya, and it turned into everybody conform. And now that warrior mentality that was being built, you think that they ain't have to go in the back room and be like, hold the fuck up. We got to gain control of this. Like they're not even listening right now. You know what I'm saying? So that warrior mentality is created through anarchy. And my fault, I'm probably a bit pumped up, a bit passionate, because you know I really be giving a fuck. You know, and that I'm an artist, so like a lot of times, like a lot of people be telling me like, yo, don't really go on social media and really say certain shit, but that shit be kind of like getting to me, bro, because I really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, bro. I'm just a bit passionate with this shit, but I just think like that anarchy and all that create warrior mentality. I know every time when I was in the P now and we had the revolute, you know what I'm saying, up top and all of that, we was in some tough environments and we had to go out there and get busy to get what the fuck we wanted. And them COs had to jack it and respect it. And that was just that.
Hey, yo, Veli, can I be honest with you, bro? When I be in Crown Heights and I be in Williamsburg and I see how the Jewish community is moving, how they police their own communities, bro, it brings tears to my eyes when I see that shit, bro. Every time I got to go back uptown to Harlem and shit, I see crackhead and fiends and the blocks is dirty. Project building, pissy hallways is fucked up, man.
Yo, can I say one thing? This is Shaw 120, top of the morning to everybody, all the kings and queens online. It take 22 seconds.
Top of the morning.
Salute.
Top of the morning, bro. It's just two things I want to touch up on. You know how I am. My son says something very important, man. It's about the warrior mentality, right? Y'all know what I'm doing right now. I took the little money that my family left me. They left me a nice little piece of them. I came down to North Carolina. We up in Fayetteville, y'all know already. We're building a little Black Wall Street down there. Like we have 8 blocks already that belong to us. We got 6 stores. Like my thing why I did it was so every other hood could see how it started to run and it rub off on the next hood. This is what my son talking about when he talking about the warrior mentality. Everybody got to put in whichever way they got to put it in. You know, I heard somebody challenge my bro the other day. That's why I said there's 2 things I want to talk about. When we talk about this warrior mentality, I know my son, honestly, in my eyes, because when he was a baby at the time, I'm 55, right? I was there when he was locked up. I just wanted y'all to, everybody online, y'all pass the word. This from Shaw 120, the original, not the Miller, Mr. Garfield King Burchett. Y'all can check my jacket. My shit is flawless. Like that man is one of the greatest young individuals that I've come across that I was able to see develop to the stage that he developed, y'all. He had this mentality 5 years prior to him coming home. He already knew what he was coming home to do. He came home with that warrior mentality. Like, I ain't gonna go name in it because, I speak to him every now and then too. We got our own line, me and Wacky Chop. But I'm vouching 100%. I'm putting my flag on that. My oath. Everything that man say he about, he about, man. And I love him for it because he the one that put that fire in my heart and made me want to come home and do the shit that I'm doing. And that's real talk. Like, and that goes back to the warrior mentality. Belly passed it off to me. I pass it off to Dwimic. Dwimic passed it off to Will. Will passed it off to Sunrise. And it goes down that chain of command and Angie get it. And everybody touch this and they begin to put they fruits of labor into this and then they build something. This is what need to be done. I heard Harlem, you know, we talk about that all the time. I get tired of my people. A year or two from now, he gonna pop back up
and kill more kids.
Say it. Killed no kids.
Say it. Yes, he did.
Let me tell you what killing kids is. Killing kids is the plot, the planning, and the executing of you saying we gonna go in here, we gonna do this, and this is gonna happen, and this is what we trying to accomplish.
And that's what he did.
And that's what it was.
They told him,
Literally.
you know, Wack, that they met with his ass, that Houston police met with Travis Scott before. Yeah, get your ass off the stage. They met with him before and already fucking told him that shit was dangerous. He didn't care. So I don't understand it's making it. People's children are dead.
Why y'all? Hold on, wait, y'all.
Who kick Wack?
Just throw it back up. Y'all be quiet.
Oh, I thought he left. Somebody kicked him. Y'all gotta stop.
Moved him.
Hold on, wait. Y'all be quiet for a second, please. Y'all, it's not that serious. Please don't move anybody who's a moderator unless I say please. And don't mute any moderators unless I'll mute the moderators. Just y'all focus more. Y'all focusing too much on the moderators, but when I actually remove them people from the audience who speak when I'm speaking, they still be on stage. I don't know what's going on. Y'all too focused on your roles as moderators in the room. I need y'all to silence the people who keep speaking while moderators or people are speaking. That's what I need y'all to do. Everybody else, just leave them alone. They can have discussion. Nosy is really good at what she does. So is Wack. They can have a discussion.
Well, I definitely didn't. I don't ever remove. I didn't do that. I was talking to Wack. I said, get your ass off the stage because I thought he left. Because he like.
No, I know you didn't, Nosy. Go ahead.
I don't do that corny shit. But go ahead. Whoever was talking.
You was talking.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say. I just wanted to say that I just went on Twitter just now, and there's a username named @TrentSeason __, and he posted a picture of another either a dead kid or a kid that's badly injured, and Travis Scott posted his July 7th, 2014, and he put WTF under that kid's either dying picture or badly injured picture. So I just want people to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the first kid that he posted, though. If you go to the link that's posted at the top and you scroll down the timeline, you will see he's been posting these kids. I told y'all, this man don't like kids. I've been telling y'all since the beginning of the room. He don't like them. He has it on his walls, all this stuff, all these bloody noses and stuff, because that's what he likes. He said in the article that, not in the article, in the interview, that he wants blood. He said it. He wants to rage and he wants to purge. This is all from, y'all could be mad at me, but this is all from his mouth, not from mine. I played the clippings. I mean, we could play. One thing I would agree with Wack is do I think that he's going to get away with this? Yes, right, of course, because you see his fans. I mean, like I said, child, they hacked into my whole account with a man they don't even know. But yeah, when it comes down to the truth and what's going on, and that's breaking down what. Y'all have to be honest, because it's a lot of dishonesty, and y'all be thinking from a fan's perspective. I'm talking about what happened that night, and I know that he stopped the stage once, but when I see other videos, I see him personally looking over bodies, lifeless bodies, and singing. This is a real, it's not no conspiracy. It's nothing like this is what I saw I saw from his videos in his concert. That's a problem.
That, and also the problem is him posting pictures of those kids either badly injured or dying as well. Why would you even post that in general? It doesn't really make any sense.
But may I add to the conversation that, okay, I'm bringing in someone that's no longer with us, like Michael Jackson concert. There will be people passing out and fainting all the fucking time at his curse. It'd be people fainting at his concerts all the time. And that's kind of the nature of those type of concerts, the Beast. People get hot, bothered, overwhelmed. They wear diapers so they don't have to move, lose their spots. They pee in the diapers, all types of crazy stuff. So that's possibly why he was in that maybe thinking like, okay, the people are just gonna get pulled out, out the crowd, wheeled off the property, or seek medical attention because we got medical staff. Maybe that's why he didn't stop it, because he knows he has a job to do.
I would just say that too.
You're absolutely right.
But can I add something?
It's the nature of the game. It's not like
It's very common.
right? I mean, like, like rude.
At least Michael
He's an
Jackson's
artist.
concerts had seats, though.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
That was it.
And he had beds and food. There's an old
I-
clip of
I
Linkin
just
Park,
retweeted
like
Hayes'
the rock
post.
band, Linkin Park, and they had a whole section of a concert saying, "If somebody falls, what do you do?" And they had the crowd chant, "Pick them up, pick them up," because no matter how much fun you're gonna have, we'll stop the whole show and restart it from the beginning if somebody's hurt. And that's coming from Linkin Park, a rock band.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Chester.
Rest in peace,
That's
Chester.
crazy. You got to
Yeah,
control
let-
your audience.
and
And he
there's-
knows how to control his audience. He knew
Yeah,
what
let me
was
just
going,
say
but it
this
was
really
still
quick.
intense.
1 second. I just kind of want to reset the room for a second. So, welcome everyone to I Am Fix My Life. Follow that greenhouse at the top. Make sure you follow me. Follow all of the moderators on stage because they've been rocking with me. Some of them from day one. Some of them through my big room. Some of them from my small rooms. Yeah, we played videos of a lawyer speaking out against Travis and talking about how he's going to sue him, and basically had a whole breakdown of please don't blink your mics. Had a whole breakdown of proof that this was mishandled by not only Live Nation but by Travis Scott too. So that's why this room is open. We played the video. It was like 15 minutes, and that's that.
You're gonna have to change the name from
Niggas
Live
is blaming
Nation to
Travis Scott.
brand.
Can I
What?
just say something? It's funny how you said that everyone was chanting "Stop the concert," and they weren't stopping it. But the same thing that happened in the UK at Yam Carnival, everyone was saying we can't hear the music, we can't hear the music. Even the artists were complaining their mics weren't working, but nothing was being done about that as well. So it's just really weird that Live Nation, they're so unorganized. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
No, absolutely. And from an engineer standpoint, that's just the sound guy that was doing his job.
One mic on Lydia. Go ahead, Lydia. Lydia, start over.
First of all, that the other UK girl had just mentioned is completely different, on a completely different scale to the Travis Scott incident. Like, people weren't dying at Yam Festival, let's be honest, my love, but people are dying at Travis Scott festival, which is on a far went to that carnival too, but the scale, on the grand scheme of things, I'm sorry, you cannot compare the two. Nobody died at that festival. At Travis Scott's festival, people were dying. How can you even compare the two? It doesn't make any sense.
All right, I say Travis Scott had a part to play in it as well.
I think he was just trying to have something.
What part did Travis Scott have to play in it? I'm just asking.
Me too. I'm asking.
Which
Is that a real question?
No, it's a real question from somebody that's in the industry.
Okay, you want to let me answer? He enticed his fans to be violent and to break in, talking about we're going to sneak the wild ones in. Basically throwing little being a whistleblower or dog whistles to get his little demons to break in and do things that they're not supposed to be doing. And he does this in a lot of his concerts. The lawyer actually proved it with all of the stuff that he had compiled together during the interview with that he was doing with somebody online. So I want to make this very clear. Like, he is not innocent in this whole case. I mean, he posts like lifeless bodies. I mean, they know what they came to do. All y'all prove my Scott concerts before. This is normal. I mean, we always do this. We always rage. We always beat up each other in our spits. That means that he has no self-control and he doesn't put his fans in check. If he can scoop his fans together to beat somebody's ass over a damn Yeezy, like he never had no damn money before.
Let him land.
Okay, so if he can entice fans to like, beat up a person for a damn shoe, like he never had no money before, he can entice his fans that, hey guys, come on, like what's going on? Make sure y'all support these people. People were jumping on his stage saying, y'all, like people are dying, and he was basically even the cameraman didn't give a fuck, and neither did Travis. He only stopped the show one time when he saw people like passing away, and then the other when he saw people lifeless bodies. Let me say that when he saw them other people, he did not do anything about it. He just kept going. He said, you know what you came here for. And for the fans who keep going to his concerts, I really hope that when nothing ever happens to y'all when y'all keep going, because I screenshotted y'all profiles. And when I do a room about y'all bodies, I'm going to make sure to remind y'all that, this is what you came here for. And
I am fucking dead,
make
y'all.
sure, yeah, I did. I screenshotted your profile. It is funny because you coming up in here and saying that these people deserved or that they should have, that they knew what they came here for. They were kids that passed away. They were 16-year-old, 14-year-olds, and there's a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old in the hospital right now. And y'all coming up here telling me, oh, I've been to his concerts before. This happens all the time. Okay, people die all the time. Hello, like what are you talking about?
It's not Travis' fault though.
It's the
desensitization. To revisit,
Travis is an artist,
from
bro. Shit happens. That's not his fault.
Pardon me. From Lollapalooza to Woodstock to Watts, like this has been happening, right? And I'm thinking, do we need to open up the conversation to talk about like mosh pit culture and like festival culture, period. Like, and this is not an excuse, right? Like you said, people dying, that's crazy. But I think we need to open up the conversation and say, like you said, Linkin Park, they had like a FAQ section and what to do section. Like there needs to probably be more structure at these festivals because this is going on way too common. Like, we don't talk about it because Travis's name is not connected to these other festivals, right? But it's happening. And so we need to talk about it, right? How do you know if it's a dead body or how do you know if somebody passed out, right? So there needs to be precautions.
Yeah, we're gonna open it up once we finish dragging Travis Scott because we're gonna drag his ass for a few days. We're gonna rag his ass for a few days from getting them people killed. We're gonna rag his ass about them 2 dreadlocks and get it done. And then when we're finished, we're gonna get him. We're gonna talk about the mosh pit culture and all this other stuff. I understand that we want to hop to the solutions, but we can't do that too quick. We have to, stay out the accountability piece because when we do that, we have things like he's being canceled because they want him to think that we want him to be canceled. That's not what this room is about, y'all. This room.
In the world to me.
My son.
Yeah.
Yeah, family. This unique, man. Let me first say it's an honor to meet you and hear you speak personally. You know what I mean? And it's sad. I just did 26 years in federal prison for being a kingpin. You know what I'm saying? I know Hassan, me and him did a show on my YouTube channel called Prison Talk, Grown Folks Talk, just different things to bring awareness, right? But I want to say this, after 26 years gone and coming back, it's real sad and heartbreaking to me to see how they try and tear down our people when we try and help our children, our people. You know what I mean? Meaning they quick to tear us down. Just no disrespect. That's just the topic. You know what I mean? Is it a gimmick? You know what I mean? If Tom Cruise was trying to free Woody Harrelson's father, who killed the judge in Colorado that was in ADX with, none of the white people would be even saying that it's a gimmick. But we as people, we look at the negative to try and get 2 likes on YouTube or to try and get some shine on social media by disrespecting what brothers doing. I watched you from inside the prison, and I see you out here that you're making powerful moves, and then I see people trying to tear you down, and that's heartbreaking to me. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, when you got one of us that's trying to do for us, instead of embracing it, they look for ways to pull it apart and try and make it like if it's something bad, when we just need to come together. Until we come together, we never gonna have nothing. You understand? In the prison, we got cars, we come together. Whether it's the New York car, the Bloods car, the California car, the DC car, but we come together. Like when we're in the West Coast, all the East Coast come together because it's only a few of us from the different states. So all the East Coast come together to fight against and defend ourselves against the West Coast brothers. But now you come out here on social media, instead of these other YouTube platforms embracing you, I see them trying to tear you down and I haven't seen you do anything wrong. I haven't seen. If you did, maybe they seen it. You know what I mean? If that make any sense to you. You know what I mean?
It makes 100% sense, brother. And that's pretty much what we was focusing on. And I appreciate that. We damage people. And I understand, just like most of our leaders, and I put myself in the leadership category. Some people consider me a leader, some don't, whatever it is. But just I know most of our leaders, what I experience, they experience tenfold. The same people we celebrate, Malcolm X and Martin and Huey, all of these people were castigated by their own people. Their own people was calling them fakes and frauds and was trying to hurt them, was trying to diminish them. I know that because I do the history. So what makes me any different? You know what I'm saying? I understand what makes me any different from being ridiculed and and put through the fire like that.
You gotta mute your mic, Unique.
But
you gotta mute your mic, bro.
Hold on 1 second. I just wanted to just say real quick, when someone else is talking, everybody please have your mics muted because then we get feedback. So while my son is talking, everyone please mute your mic. And when someone else is talking, mute your mic. Thanks.
Yeah, and a lot of us have been taught that that's what's celebrated, right? To tear somebody down. People go for ignorance. I was listening to when I had went into that room and I got into the the verbal thing with Wack, and I had left the movement. He was saying that the intelligence is boring. Nobody wants to hear the kumbaya. Nobody wants to hear the unified shit that's boring. Niggas want to feed into bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That I was whack and I was boring. Nobody want to tune into me because so people have fed into that mentality that negativity brings a level of engagement. That people want to feed into engagement. To negativity. So when that is what's being sold, when that's what's being celebrated, when that's what's being incentivized, then that's what people do. So when you look at YouTube, if the heading ain't about some negative shit, or somebody got killed, or somebody saying, oh, such and such is going at it with somebody else, if you just got some positive shit, nobody wants to engage with it. That's where the error we are, brother. So unfortunately, what I've learned, right, and the reason why I came on Clubhouse, because I watched that same mentality. I watched it being celebrated. I watched going to these rooms where all they was doing was down talking people and being negative, and nobody was trying to uplift, and nobody was talking about how do we unify. So when I came on here, I said I understand what the platform is, but we need to figure out how do we have positive conversations and still get engagement. So when you look at the title of this, right, I know that some people think it's a gimmick, right? I know that some people are skeptical about Kanye. I personally believe that whether it's a gimmick or not, just him trying to do something positive is what we need to do. So when we talk about Larry Hoover and you look at the positivity that he can bring back to his society and back to the community, the influence he can have is unmeasurable, right? So I understand that, but I also understand that Kanye has done questionable things to where somebody might question his character. Somebody might say, damn, I watched Kanye say this and do this and just for likes and just for attention. So maybe I might question it. Is it a good thing? I don't know. But some people, we have to judge each individual what they put out. Like when you talk about somebody saying something about me, but you haven't seen it done. I ask all the time, like, when you say negative shit about me, just show me, because I want to be better. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above critique. I'm not above criticism. If you saying, yo, you did this, blah, 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 and I think you should have done this, I'm going to look at that and say, damn, let me look at it. You think so? And I'm going to critique myself. But most of these claims and the defame be coming from shit that don't even be factual. You know what I'm saying? So I think we just got to do a lot better, brother. I appreciate your comment. We do have to do a lot better, and we can't tear our brothers down, and we can't always feed into negativity, even though we know that's what society wants us to do.
I just want to interject. Good morning, everybody. I think what the problem in the community is, unfortunately, it's the lack of who we are as people and the education of where we came from. When you have knowledge of self and where you come from, you can build yourself. But a lot of people don't promote that narrative. And that's where the problem is. It's the crab in the barrel mentality. Me helping you doesn't help myself. And that's how we look at it in a sense. We don't uplift each other. And that's the unfortunate thing. If we know who we are and where we came from, that we were kings and queens, and we know that, then we have a better respect for who we are. But because the media projects us as these savages, and that's the narrative that they push, everybody knows that, hey, if I go to the hood and I shoot somebody or rob somebody, they're not really looking for me. But if I go to a white community and do it, they're coming at me with anybody. Even if they don't find the right person to do it, they're going to find somebody that looks like us. You see the narrative all the time. You're in New York, so you know when the lady in Central Park saw the guy and was like, yo, there's a black man, but that's the narrative. Even though he did nothing, that's the narrative that everybody projects and looks at us as people. And until we come together and have self-awareness and love each other and stop doing the same things, to each other, unfortunately, the world is going to look at us in that capacity. So we have to change the narrative and uplift each other. And once we start doing that as a community, it's like you said, if you look at it for what it's worth, no, and this is not a negativity, but the Mexicans will come here and it'll be 20 of them in a house. And then and each one of them working towards something before you know they got a business. We don't have that mindset because we feel as though I can't have you outshine me. You can't be better than me. You can't do this and you can't do it. I don't want you to have the same thing I have because we never had anything. And once we get it, that's what we think in our mind, in our community, that once you drive in a Benz, you've made it. Once you have this, you've made it. So we show everything on the outside. And that's the narrative, unfortunately, that we project. And we have to change that mindset. It behooves me that somebody goes out and buys a $200 pair of Jordans, but can't pay their phone bill. What is that about? And until we change that whole narrative and mindset, as a people, we're going to unfortunately be in the same situation. And I land my plane.
Yo, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing, sis? Adding on to that, the shot 120 again, right? Again, this is why I kind of pulled back from the clubhouse thing. I hear everybody saying the same thing. It's no disrespect. I appreciate what you just said. I mean, but I've heard the same narrative. Like that's what everybody. So now that we know what the situation is, because we hear it every day. We've been hearing it for the last 400 years. We know what it is. We know that it's a. I'll wait for y'all to mute your mic, whoever mic that is. Like, we already know it's a crab in the barrel syndrome. You know what I mean? We already know that. Let's deal with the reality. That's what it really is, a crab in the barrel. I'm going to show you why I say that. Like I said, I mess with both parties so I can mention both of them because they fuck with me. Like, Wack, all this money he's holding on to, all these big great things he's doing. What is the reason for him to challenge my son? Hassan, all these great things he's doing. What is the reason for the challenges? Okay, what I'm seeing is the same thing that y'all talking about. Y'all see it. It's right in front of you. Now, if you don't want to open your eyes and see it, that's on you. But I see it. Now, what do we do about it? I told y'all what I'm doing. We out in Fayetteville. We own 8 blocks, mad land. Trees are getting chopped down. The school is getting built. I'll send the paperwork through so y'all can see this shit is factual. And this is what I'm doing. Now, what are we going to do? I'm tired of hearing this, the same narrative. We know that each other is grabbing each other down and we're not coming together as one. And, we shall overcome. I know that part already. Now, what the fuck do we do? My son got on his horse and he's doing what the fuck he's doing.
So let me ask you, you want us all to go down and run down what we doing, or you just want to just know that everybody's doing something, doing their part?
No, doing music, it ain't even that, my brother. You don't even have to tell me. Just do it, like Nike.
I mean, that's what's happening. I hear what you're saying.
Just like Nike, just do it. I would like somebody to come on and tell me what they're doing to make a change. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't tell me what needs to be changed. What are you doing to make a change? I've been battling cancer for the last 11 years, y'all. I've been in Albany Med, one of the finest cancer research units in Cleveland. This is what I've been doing. And I'm going to bleed out my last breath doing some positive shit for all of the negative things that I've done on this earth, man. I just had a son too, my son. Yeah, I got a 9-week-old son, bro. My first child ever, man. Word, man. So Thank you. So I see things a whole lot different. And I was doing this before he was born. So that show you how much I'm on that plane, man. What are we gonna do, y'all? Now that we came up and we know what the fucking problem is that we have no building with each other. We have no support system for each other. What my son said hit the shit right on the nail. Check out the jewel. What common ground do every last black person have that we can come to fuck together and get this shit together? And that's what we need to find. That neutral ground.
So, yo, brother, I give you a for example. Shout out to everybody that's in the room too. Me and my son been working together for years, and I think the last couple of times he came through to do like radio, when he was on his own, and I seen what he was doing, moving out here. I didn't put no price tag on it. Like I did that from the strength of I know what he's trying to do, and I got a platform, media, so we're gonna rise up together, and we work with the kids, the Guns Down Life Up. So again, like we the question wasn't asked, what are we all gonna do? I mean, you just asked the question just now, but I'm sure like from this conversation and from hearing you're passionate about what you're talking about, if nobody was doing nothing, they're gonna have shit to think about right now to do something to go further with this situation. So that's really good. I open up a room every day.
My thing, yo, Dim. My thing is for every brother, every king, and every queen that's on here, man. I want y'all to understand something. For them little girls that y'all see running around, y'all, my sisters, that's not doing it, snatch 2 of them, snatch 3 of them. Just talk, even if it don't get boom. Snatch them, man, and you did your fucking job. When we tend to look the other way, that's when shit get fucked up more, y'all. Y'all don't notice that? When we don't notice it, is when it gets fucked up more. We didn't notice these little bros out here on drill time. Now we notice it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All you gotta
That's
do is
all the
grab
way
these.
back, King. You ain't saying
grab
nothing but knowledge, and you saying it with passion, and I love that passion. Because listen, man, the soft talking shit ain't gonna always be good. Sometimes we gotta yell because sometimes they don't respect you when you talk soft. I was in the room and the nigga was yelling and screaming at me, and they said I was punked because I wasn't yelling. So you gotta understand, we got different type of leadership, man. Some of us gotta yell. Some of us gonna talk it soft. Some of us gonna move in silence, and some might have to yell, man. So I appreciate that passion, King, because the message is what's important, man. That passion and that message is what's important, man.
Martin, you hear me? You dropped the gym on me one time, bro. We was in all means, remember? I got caught up in some bullshit, bro. Like, you dropped the gym on me. You said, yo, Sean, man. Like, here it is, you big homie. Like, you ain't tired of hurting your own people, man? And I said, what you talking about? And you sat me down and you sat in the gym, you and Malik, when we used to play ball all the time. And you said, yo, Sean, man. You Dominican and half Haitian, man. And you don't cut 1,000 Puerto Rican. That shit made me cry, man. So, here it is, man. Here it is, man. I'm talking about, I'm for black love, override oppression and destruction, but I'm cutting my own fucking kind. Like, how fly was I?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to make sure that I take that positive that you gave me and multiply that shit into 10 pods. I came home with a plan, and I'm going to follow it through. It took me 11 years to get on parole. No dirty urines, no missed curfews, no cases, just because of the gang. So what I've learned is that there's a place and time for everything. What you kept trying to tell me. There's nothing wrong with being bloodshot, but it's a time for stand up for black love, override oppression and destruction. And I'm standing.
That's a fact. Like one thing that Shah said that I really respect 1,000% is just grabbing one of them, because you know how a lot of times I feel like where as we're older, I'm 39, right? So I feel like I qualified a little bit to say something. I've been through a few things in life just like everybody else. A lot of times people my age and above, they be so scared of the youth that they don't even know. Like the way that you pay this shit forward, bro, is through communication. Like sometimes we just gotta know how to learn how to talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like it's a sense of resentment that it's like a disconnect, right? Because a lot of times we be forgetting that we was young, how we carried it when we was 14, 15 years old, when somebody came around and looked at us as knuckleheads, or like and talked at us instead of talk to us, instead of showed us something. Like, regardless of the fact if these kids look like they lost, we ain't gonna be able to save all of them. But it's our duty to at least say something, tell them something. You still got to say something to them. Like, if you could grab one of them, right, and just show them some shit, just pull them out the hood for a second, take them to the other side of town, take them go get a haircut, just move around with them. You dig what I'm saying? That's at least you tried, other than just ride past them and ain't say shit, but have your fucking mouth open like, yeah, these kids don't want to listen. But what have you done? What have you showed them? If you ain't done nothing, you part of the problem. You feel me? So a lot of times, so then when these kids look at you like, what, man, fuck you, you get your old ass out of here. Then it's like, how can you be but so mad if you ain't did shit but look down on them? And I felt what shot coming from, because when I was younger, I feel his pain. I feel where he coming from, because it was a time out. It was like, bro, the shit going on in 2021. I wish I had a motherfucker talking to me like that, or show me the shit that I know now, and at least look like me, at least dress like me, where I could reach out and touch that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes people be giving out game, but it's so far out of reach that it'll discourage a motherfucker. They like, man, I can't. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just too far. I can't see it. I can't reach it. And then you don't look like me, or you don't look like, you don't even like. I can't resonate with you. But with all these brothers on the stage, it's like everybody got a story, and it's real, and it ain't nothing fake about what Shot saying. It ain't nothing fake about you what Unique saying. Like, I'm a fat baby too, so I understand what that man's saying. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So just reaching out, grabbing one, or like, even when my son be talking, like, you see the work, you see it. And at the end of the day, like, no matter how boring that motherfuckers say that shit is, because it's, sometimes doing the right shit, it ain't gonna always look like a Frank Mueller. It ain't gonna look like a Rolls Royce. You see what I'm saying? But as long as you stay on that path, everybody, somebody gonna catch it at a certain time in their life. Everybody ain't gonna catch what he doing all at one time, because I didn't get it until I had to bump my fucking head and damn near ain't make it out. So sometimes when a motherfucker flying right, you just gotta stay consistent with that shit. And shout, I respect 1,000% what you doing. 'Cause I can vouch for what you doing. I know some people out there in favor with what you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah, that's Sunrise. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like my parents, they left me a little blessings. Like, if y'all look up Gino's Pizzeria in Far Rockaway, New York, that's my family. They own that shit for the last 70 years. A landmark out there in Far Rock. That's my city.
that's a fact.
Like all the bread they gave me, y'all, I ain't gonna even lie, man. I saved. Well, I ain't got to really go through that, but I put something in my son where he have a CD account, and I saved a little bit of land of inheritance that I came down here in North Carolina for, which is 20 acres. I gave to him. Right. My thing is this, y'all. Like, something has to be done, man. Like, I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. I've been tired, but I'm like extra tired. Like, I just want my people to have something. I'm gonna show y'all what my original plan was, my mentality. I gave my mother a word before she passed away that she had 13 of us. I got a story to tell, right? But check it. Make a long story short, she had 13 of us. I gave my word to every last one of my brothers and sisters that what we would do with the land is that we would all build houses on that property and build our own community. That's how it started off, the dream. And this was in Roanoke Rapids. So eventually, my family, they were like, yeah, that's, we good where we at. Some in Cali, some niggas don't want to move, They said, do what you're going to do. Just make sure you all right. So I came up with a bro, Tony Brown. Y'all can look him up. The chief of police out there, Black Sister, in Fayetteville, the mayor Black. And we sat down at the table, and we came with a little program that we had for them. The stores was already there. It was already 4 Black stores owned that was already there, which is a clothing store, 2 restaurants, and a barbershop. We added 4 more stores. Know what I mean? The land that we building on right now, we building a school that teaches nothing but Black history. Because that's so important too, man. Not only to know his story, but to know your story, the real story. For real, like, and this is something that has to be done. It has to. Like, whoever take a liking to that, and they grab a grip of that, and let's say Cali pop up with one, then New Orleans pop up with a Black Wall Street. Guess what? He'll start to take a whole lot of recognition and recognition of what the fuck is going on. He'll understand the movement then, once he see what the movement is. But if the movement keep on doing the way it's doing right now, that every day I look in the news, there's 300 kids getting shot. And I don't understand, but every time I turn around, it's a gas station shooting. I would figure after you know that the last guy got caught from the camera, you wouldn't do a gas station. I mean, but I understand the ignorance of man. But that's the shit that's going on. And that's the shit that need to be stopped, man. And individually, none of us can stop it. I want y'all to be aware of that. Somebody said something about there's nothing wrong with that. When I use that terminology, snatching a kid, and I just use that as another way, another route. A lot of them would like to have somebody that they could listen to. They would like to have a big brother in their life, a big sister. But like you said, a lot of people fear them. But how could you fear what you are, man? You live there. You live around that. This is what you came from. Probably you didn't have to go in that route and direction, but this is what you came from. So I understand the fear. But the reality is, if we don't fix it, it will remain broke, man. And how long do y'all? Well, my thing is, I know half of y'all. I can't look at your age and tell how old you are, or nothing. But you gotta be tired. You have to be fucking tired. It has to be a point in your life where you say, you know what? Enough is a fucking enough, man. Because I'm gonna keep it real. I say this all the time. I listen to dudes say, "Oh, I'm from the hood, so that's why I had to go to that direction." And this, I could never say that. The route that I took is the route that I chose to take. We all choose to take the routes that we take. We all choose to dislike each other for the things that we dislike each other for. We all choose to hate on each other for the reasons that we hate on each other. We have to, that shit has to all be cut out. And in order for that to be done, as y'all know, it's going to take time. The same way it was built in 100 nights, it got to be destroyed in 100 nights. For real.
Well, hey, but family, see what it is.
Hold on right quick, bro. Tiff been sitting here waiting patiently, and she asked a question. Go ahead, Tiff. I appreciate you being patient with us.
There's no problem, King. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, we
Turn
hear
your
you.
mic down just a little bit, Tiff.
Okay.
He said turn your mic down.
Damn it. Hold on. God.
You in the car?
Yeah, I'm turning the Bluetooth
Yeah, you
off.
gotta take it off the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth
Yeah.
sounds terrible.
Okay,
Yes, your sound is better.
Yeah, that's
okay.
good.
I just want to piggyback off this and make it plain and clear. I was in a room a couple of weeks ago, and I had the same conversation with a couple of guys, and I mentioned you, my son, and this is my point about what you stand for. Yeah, everybody gonna try to give you a black eye. They try to give Dr. King a black eye for being a womanizer. They tried to black eye Malcolm X as being a snitch. But let me tell you something, my brother, and to all my brothers out here. When I first joined Clubhouse, yeah, I was damn near ostracized because you know what I do for a living? I'm a federal probation officer, but I direct the Second Chance program where all my people that work for me are black and they work for Fortune 500 companies, and I make sure that they get the first jobs. They have an opportunity to make $35, $45 an hour when they come home, so they don't to go back. I fought the system with the system. That's how I placed myself. And I'm not coming like I was spoon-fed. Yeah, I came up in the streets. My father was a hustler, so was my mother. I had to do better. I was married to a man in the streets. My brothers are still in the streets. And when I came up here and I spoke and I told black men up here that, hey, it ain't always got to be bad. Black women got you down. We'll hold you down. And Sometimes you want to overtalk and you want to not listen, and it's like, oh well, you just gonna play your position, play your part. I'm playing my part right now. To the brother Shy, you are in my prayers because I am a breast cancer survivor. I am in Cleveland right now. But
I love you, my sister. I love you. I spoke to you before. I didn't speak to you, but you was in the room the other day, and I heard you speaking, sis. I love you.
yes, and I love you back, King. And like I said, there are people in position that I want all my black brothers and my Latino brothers. I want every man, woman, boy, girl to win. But we got to get our markets right. We got to know the reason why Trump went so hard was because he was sprinkling, he was pigeon feeding us, he was giving us something that we had never had before. Black people had never heard about PPP loans ever, ever. And when we got a hold of them, he let us have them. If they would have let Obama open up them floodgates, we wouldn't have nothing negative to say about him because it would have been, oh shoot, he laced my pockets. I ain't never seen so many 30-day tags out here in my life where I'm from. But you got to reward it. They took it. You got people that misused it and abused it, but we can't cry about that. But like I said, any brother that I see, because I support councilmen that are running in my ward and in other wards, I'll put that money behind them just so they can get up there. That's why I asked you earlier, my son, if it was a mold that you could put behind and put a dollar price on it, it's something you need, my brother, I'll stand behind you. I'll race behind you. But at the end of the day, you're still a man. You walk upright. You put on your pants. I respect you to fuck up because you're not Jesus. You're not the Lord. No one's made to serve you. We just want to honor you for what you're doing. So I'm not going to pillar like, you going to make mistakes because I'm telling you, I didn't start following you off of what you were doing politically, my brother. I caught you about what you were saying about a young man that was talking real reckless about something that shouldn't have been never spoke on in that demeanor. And that's how I started to follow you. So it wasn't what you were saying, it was how you were delivering it. So the message can be sprinkled, loud, soft. It's about what you're saying. People respect you, and that's all it's gonna ever be. So, to all my black brothers out here, don't never think that ain't nobody gonna play a position for you, because I'm telling you right now, I'm out here always looking for mine, checking for mine. And everybody kind of like ostracized me, like I said, when everybody checked my profile and found out that I work for the feds. Yeah, I work for them, but I did what I had to do. And I also had to go sit down for them. When they came for my husband, and they told me that I could not spend not a dime to protect my black man from going to the penitentiary, and I paid for his lawyer. They charged me with obstruction of justice. By the grace of God, I was able to come home back to my federal job, but I did have to go sit down for 180 days in Alderson, West Virginia, right next door to Martha Stewart, and do my due diligence. But hey, I couldn't let mine go, and I did what I had to do.
Hey, sister,
Thank
I want to
you.
say something.
You
I want to say
Hold
something.
on one second.
That's what you call a mic drop. Woo! Go ahead, say what you're saying, D.
Go ahead, D. And after D, I want to also say something as well, please.
So here's the thing. She just made very evident to the things that we think. I used to hear this coming up, that what the OGs used to teach to us, like, yo, be a police officer, be a lawyer, be a doctor, so that we can help each other out in the future. But now it still seems like, as like my son was saying earlier, it's like shunned on for you to do the positive thing. Oh, you work for the cops. Like you work for the cops. Like she just said that she specifically puts people on and puts $35 an hour in their pocket, and people that look like me and you. But people won't see past what her job description is, and that's the problem. That's part of the problem with our society right now, is that it's so super cool and uncool to talk to somebody that works in a federal or city position. My sister works at one police plaza, and she works the task force for the civilian situation. I don't know what that means 100%, but I know that she wears plain clothes and she don't have a gun or a badge, but she's right under the commissioner. But best believe, every time I get pulled over and I say that, that's the first thing I say out my mouth. And guess who don't get no tickets? I just got pulled over by 2 unmarked cars in last week in Brooklyn and in the Bronx, in near the projects. And they want to talk to me about my tints and my license plate is not right. But guess who didn't get nothing? Me. Because guess why? Because my sister works for the situation. So we need to stop ostracizing people like the sister that just talked and let them rock. Like, let them help us. Let me help you. Like that's one of the things that we need to do, and I'm just gonna talk my rap.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something real
Absolutely.
quick. You know, it's one thing of, you know, creating jobs and getting money in our pockets and achieving, you know, success money wise, but without money management skills, us as a community, we're not going to go anywhere. I spoke to this Jewish lady who she used to tell me about her time. You know, she survived the Holocaust, and her husband. She would tell me about their poor times in Brooklyn, and she's now leaving $1 million to her children. And she was explaining to me that in order to propel your people as a race, as a culture, you have to keep money and save it. And she was telling me about the times where it was like her other neighbors, they would buy 2, 3, 4, 5 shoes. She had 1 pair of shoes for the whole year for her children. They saved every single penny until it was time for them to level up and buy a house, when they used to live in their little brownstone in Brooklyn. Not a brownstone, it was a building and stuff, their little tiny cramped apartment where they were like struggling and stuff. And also when I used to work at a car dealership, I used to see that the Indian customers and the Chinese customers, you know, they got money. And I would say to my boss, like, how do they have so much money? And they're like, because they don't spend it. You understand what I'm saying? We get all these opportunities and blow money. What's the sense of getting $45 an hour where you have nothing to show for it? My godfather, he worked for the MTA for like 30 years. He has motorcycles, Cadillac, house. He's like, there's guys that started with me in the MTA, and they're leasing a car now at 50 and 60 years old, living in a 1-bedroom apartment because they blew their money. We're never going to get anywhere unless we know how to manage our finances, how to save money and create more opportunities. Because if we have these opportunities and we're touching this money, look what happened with the PPP loans and all this other extra money that the government was giving out. People was buying crab legs in 1942 and getting on yachts. Nobody was doing nothing with the money. And there is a percentage that was, but unless you have these money managing skills, we're not going to really get nowhere. We're just going to keep running on this treadmill, buying these $200, $300, $400, $500 purses, red bottoms, and all this nonsense. And we're never going to own anything or get anywhere as a community. So I just want to add that money management skills, people that I have spoken to that are rich now, that has started from nothing. There's also a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a good book to read and really learn finance.
Man, my favorite book. Very good book. Very good book. This Shaw 120. I love that. Very good book.
So I'm going to park my car there, but that is very, very important. Learning how to hold on to money.
I want to say Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
By Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, I read that. I read his book. And great marketing plan too. Great marketing.
Yes.
Very, very good.
It's just great, and it's so simple to read because it just breaks down, you know, what rich people do with their money, and it shows poor people in the same situation, and it just shows how they take their money, they buy this and that, and then the rich dad says, okay, well, we got $10, we're going to invest it, and we're going to buy something that can make us $30, and they flip it, and next thing you know, they done made $1,000, and the $10 that they had to spend, and they done spent $10 more, they in a whole $20, and these people that made $1,000, and they just show different scenarios on how it makes more money, how they invest in real estate and things of that nature, and how they flip their money. But I just want to say, you know, I want to commend the sister. You know, just listen to her story, her passion. You know, I was locked up, and there was a lot of COs, you know, that I was locked up with that made my bed a lot smoother, that held me down, man. And I say all the time, like you said, man, if we are the people who are the majority people that are incarcerated, and we don't have people within the justice system that can look out for us and have our best interests at hand, you know, just like when they got judges and lawyers that when the white people, young white kids get into things, they say, well, we're not going to put them in jail because we don't want to mess up their future. We want to make sure they're able to go to college. If we don't have people that have those same mentalities for us, then we're going to continue just to be the people that walk in and out of them doors. So I want to say, you know, I appreciate that, man. Just understand, you understood the assignment. A lot of people don't understand the assignment. They think, you know, I don't go to jury duty because I don't deal with the police. if you ain't on the jury, somebody that look like you is being judged by people that don't look like you and don't have your best interest at hand, and they ain't gonna try to give you a second chance or opportunity or even understand the dynamics of what you had to deal with. So that's how we keep going inside these jails, because we don't want to play our part in these systems. So in that regard, I want to say I appreciate you, and just the overall passion and you know your whole message is just about us moving forward as together, man, and just understanding that we all have a part to play, and understanding that our sisters got our backs, man. I know that, man. Most of the people who have led to my success have been women. You know, from my mother to my partners, to my wives, to my baby mothers, all of the women in my life have always been behind me and get pushed me to the next level so I could be successful. So I acknowledge that. I have female friends. You know, my friend Nicole, who I literally just spoke to 5 minutes ago, she calls my phone or texts me a positive affirmation every other day, just to make sure I know that I'm a king and that, you know, the work I'm doing is needed. And sometimes I don't feel like getting up. And then I get a text from her at 7 to 8 in the morning telling me, we got work to do, man. You got God's work to do. You know, so I acknowledge our sisters, and, you know, and I appreciate what you do. I appreciate all of our sisters that's on this line, man. I just want you to know that, to me, y'all the most valuable pieces on the board. The queen, we can't win nothing. This is chess, man. The queen is the most powerful piece on the board, man. So we got to
tell
make
them that every day, Rob. I tell them that every day. I tell them that every day, man. Without them, there is no us.
There's no us at all, man. So we got to make sure we protect, honor, and uplift our queens, man. And with that, I'll park my bike.
And respect to you, my son. But also, you said something about as far as the jury, you know, jury duty. If they come in, you could be that one melanated individual who saves that man's life for sure. But when you got situations, I forgot when they had that one brother. When they had that one brother get on TV and he pointed out exactly what happened, XYZ, the cops was involved, the whole 9 yards. They executed that brother like in the next 2 days, you know. So they trying to, in a situation like that, a brother be scared to point out a cop and say, "Yo, look, the cop did it." You understand? And that fucked with me, because I'm like, damn, they killed him literally in the next 2 days after he was like a real government witness that's like just came off the stand, took the oath. He wasn't a cop. You understand? He was just a young black male who's seeing everything that went down. So, you know, when you see stuff like that, sometimes it's going to deter young other black males from getting, you know, and it's going to go back to and I ain't saying nothing, man. I ain't heard nothing.
No, but I hear you, bro. But unfortunately, there's going to be casualties in every war, man. There's going to have to be sacrifices made. You know, they crucified Jesus, so all of our leaders were killed, right? Because they was giving us knowledge, and they was willing to speak truth to power. There is no level of success, growth, evolution, or anything that doesn't come without sacrifice. So everything ain't for everybody. Everybody is not going to do it, but we have to understand that some of us have to. You know, I go through the you know, whatever it is, and being ridiculed by my own people. I've had friends that I know all my life turn on me and decide to go to social media talking about me. I've had all type of shit that you know, but I understand that that's what comes with my assignment. You know, so all of us have a different assignment. It ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't gonna go. But my voice is to reach those who realize that that's their assignment. You know, it's gonna resonate with some people. Gonna hear what I just said, and they're gonna be going to jury duty and say, you know what, I need to go to jury duty, man. I remember what my song just said, and it's gonna save somebody's life. You know, and then there's gonna be people that, like you said, gonna be like, I'm not gonna get involved because I don't want to deal with what comes with it. So it's gonna be different strokes for different folks. It's gonna be, some of us are gonna be scared, some of us are not, and it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means everything ain't for you, man. So we have warriors, we got people that's gonna be on the internet, we got some people that's gonna be in their house that fund the movement. Everybody has a different intersection into this movement, man. You just gotta find yours.
Peace. Let me speak real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Peace, kings and queens. Yeah, let me elaborate real quick. Let me just, bring some other energy real quick. Like, you know what I mean? So this how I see things as a brother. What we first need to do, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, the first thing we need to do as a community and the people is we need to all get off the pointing the finger, blame the game. Now we know in history that certain situations and things and
First off, let me say this. My son, full of shit. No plan, no nothing like that. You just want to be out here acting like, oh, I'm getting it done. I'm speaking. My G. If you ain't ready to go down like this, don't talk about your people throwing you under the bus and all this shit. You already have a lot of other what you call it situations that we seen prior, so we know how to prepare. We know how to engage. We know how to we know who the enemies are. You know what I'm saying? It's all about these kids, man. It's all about these kids, How we gonna take care of these kids? That's all it's about, man. Take care of these kids. Make sure we on point with it. And I gotta go do my daddy duties, but you already know, man. Ain't nobody taking me away from me and my children. It's all good, baby.